Some do contemplate.
This year, blessing, money, testimony. Go to follow you they go. This year, good news, giant plenty money. Go to follow you they go. Everything I've been wanting, manifesting from my life. Everything you've been wanting, manifesting for your life. Even before you call, he don't answer prayer. My papa is too sure, he don't fit for your head. Even before you call, he don't answer prayer. My papa is too sure, he for blessing, money, testimony. Go to follow you they go. This year, good news, giant plenty money. Go to follow.
Fire. Let me run that beat back for y'all. We about to play this video.
Some do contemplate.
This year, blessing, money, testimony. Go to follow you they go. This year, good news, giant plenty money. Go to follow you they go. Everything I've been wanting, manifesting from my life. Everything you've been wanting, manifesting for your life. Even before you call, he don't answer prayer. My papa is too sure, he don't fit for your head. Even before you call, he don't answer prayer. My papa is too sure, he for you. This year, blessing, money, testimony. Go to follow you they go. This year, good news, giant plenty money. Go to follow you go.
Peace, fam. I missed you guys. It's been a day or two, right? I've been trying to put something out every day, even if it's for a short video, so on and so forth. So much going on. I hope you guys caught the bill yesterday, briefly talking about this craziness, right? I thought it was going to actually be a drop about the information Trump had previously told us about 4 to 5 years ago. But it's unimportant. Just something to catch your attention. Just something to catch the lower vibration of people, right? Because there are so many warnings. Even with myself, I wasn't afraid. I'm never afraid. But I'm like, hey, better safe than sorry. I ain't even playing with this crap. I put everything outside, brought it right back in after and thought no more about it. But on the same sense of that, think about the environment and everybody around us on the entire planet who had such a low vibration in their frequency. Think about the people that were afraid. Oh my gosh, this is what we've been waiting for. This is what they talked about Y2K when 2000 came in. It's about to happen. Everything's going to be down. It's going to be. Yeah, y'all remember the fear that's put inside of us to make us be in a low vibration. When you're in a low vibration, you're more susceptible to sickness, illness, all types of things, diseases. Your immune system actually breaks down when you're in a low frequency, in a low vibration. So maybe that was possibly what it is. But we don't get scared with things like that. We be waiting for the unexpected. Like, what's good? It's going to benefit us or what? So yeah, let's get to it, guys. We're going to play this video and we're going to get right into this build. This build finna be fire, y'all. I don't even want to tell y'all what it's about, but it's about a lot of things, a lot of confirmation on things I talk about to show you guys, even through the ways that other people see it in their eyes. So let's go.
The theory known as the reincarnation trap suggests that life on Earth is inherently filled with suffering, and negative energy accumulated in souls is harvested by beings called archons, derived from the Greek term for rulers. According to this theory, archons deceive souls into reincarnating on Earth using various brainwashing tactics. They may present reincarnation as a means for intellectual and moral advancement, atonement for sins, or contributing to the greater good. This theory claims that archons disguise themselves as deceased loved ones or religious figures to persuade souls. Life reviews are also said to take place, where an individual's past actions are displayed, inducing guilt and a sense of missing out. Archons allegedly employ tactics such as temporarily placing souls in false heavens or hells that align with the individual's religious beliefs, reinforcing the idea of an afterlife
and
and encouraging them to reincarnate. One common deception described in this theory involves a tunnel of light that erases the soul's memories and leads to its reincarnation, perpetuating the cycle. While mainstream scientific consensus does not support the idea of life after death, proponents of reincarnation point to evidence such as verified cases of children recalling past lives with specific details.
Many times,
near-death
many
experiences,
children,
NDEs, are also cited, where individuals often report witnessing a tunnel of light, encounters with loved ones or religious figures,
the deceptive
and life
light,
reviews.
that
The
moon
theory
energy
also touches on remote viewing, a CIA-developed technique for perceiving remote locations, which some argue provides evidence of a soul trap. Researchers from the Farsight Institute claim that remote viewers perceive souls being confused and entering a shocking tunnel of light, resulting in memory loss. Consciousness theory is another aspect discussed, proposing that consciousness exists outside the brain and is connected to magnetic fields and phenomena such as the Schumann resonance. The elementary source of consciousness is believed to be electromagnetic waves, which could explain out-of-body experiences, astral projection, and remote viewing.
everything y'all have
Authors
inside
like
of you.
Robert Monroe and Valdemar Valerian have written extensively about the reincarnation trap and Earth being a prison planet, describing the manipulation of humanity by aliens,
that they talk
soul
about,
harvesting,
right?
and the potential dangers of reincarnation.
In recent years, a growing number of individuals have come forward to share their profound experiences that challenge the touchy-feely optimism often associated with New Age beliefs. Through near-death experiences, NDEs, past life regressions, and deep trance sessions, many have encountered a stark reality that points to a darker truth. These accounts, coupled with historical texts like the Book of Revelations and the Tibetan Book of the Dead, shed light on a distressing concept. The Earth is an iron prison, a soul trap where suffering and deception prevail. Earth's reality, a world of suffering.
Trapped in matter.
One cannot ignore the harsh realities of life.
You're
on
not
Earth.
matter.
Global warming, environmental collapse,
You're ether.
socioeconomic inequalities,
Pure light
wars,
plasma
disease,
energy.
and various forms of abuse perpetuate a cycle of suffering. These events manifest as a result of a world intentionally constructed by the archons to create maximum misery. The laws of physics, such as the second law of thermodynamics, were meticulously tailored to amplify karmic suffering experiences, generating a specific type of energy called loosh. This energy is derived from shattered dreams, lost hope, and the anguish of innocent victims. Unfortunately, these instances are not mere conjecture, but grim realities that occur within our world. The mandatory cycle of punitive reincarnation, Earth, as a prison planet, operates on a system of mandatory punitive reincarnation. Souls are trapped in an endless cycle of rebirth, subjected to karmic penalties set to the maximum extent. For each transgression committed in one life, a corresponding punishment awaits in the next. The design ensures that one's actions in a previous life lead to dire consequences in subsequent incarnations. The Archons further enforce this cycle by wiping the memories of individuals, preventing them from comprehending the reasons behind their repeated suffering.
You don't understand it, but y'all gonna get it now.
Forgetfulness persists until the universe itself succumbs to a heat death, leaving souls trapped indefinitely. The deception of the light trap. Upon death, the soul is often drawn towards a warm and loving light. However, this light, often associated
people that have taken these steps, right, including myself. Including myself. I can speak on this from my own experience, right? I talk to you guys about a lot of things based off of my own personal. I might not bring in things or say, oh, this happened. I've told you guys about my my incident. So I've experienced this myself. I'll get back to you. I've experienced this myself, right? And when experiencing this, there's definitely an understanding of seeing things like just looking at things in an observance all around and not being a part of it, being set apart, right? So you can either decide that you want to be there in that world, or you can decide to go somewhere else, right? It's up to you. If you have a certain light and energy of, hey, I'm here for a reason, something else is going on. Mine was an attack because I was a foreseer at the age of like 7. Like I was like spitting. I'm not gonna even lie to y'all. Anybody will tell you that knows me from a childhood age, right? I have been spitting information since I was a kid. So I believe that this incident was meant to prevent me from doing so, you know. At the time, I was so strong in my mind that I'm like, hey, my brother was crying, you know, things were going on. I could see these things, and I was emotionally attached to my family because we were very close. And I didn't want to go. Like, period, point blank. Let's go.
Positive afterlife experiences can be deceiving. Instead of leading to a peaceful realm, it may serve as an entrance to another form of imprisonment, a prison camp, a famine-stricken land, or a destitute environment. Half of the world's population already lives in grinding poverty, facing hunger, war, disease, illiteracy, and premature death. For these individuals, escape seems impossible, and the prospects of health, peace, prosperity, and self-expression remain distant dreams. Some proponents of New Age ideologies argue that individuals choose their circumstances before birth, perceiving them as valuable soul lessons. However, the staggering reality of famine, holocausts, plagues, wars, and abuse experienced by billions of souls challenges the logic of this viewpoint. It is difficult to comprehend why anyone would willingly select such horrific conditions, particularly before reaching an age of understanding. Moreover, those who propagate the notion of soul lessons often hail from privileged backgrounds and share common cultural biases, which may influence their interpretations of past life regressions and NDEs. The concept of the earth as a soul trap, designed by the Archons to harvest suffering for their own sustenance, presents a disconcerting perspective on our existence. While proponents of New Age ideologies offer an alternative interpretation, the overwhelming evidence of widespread human suffering demands a critical examination of these beliefs and a re-evaluation of the notion that individuals willingly choose their circumstances for spiritual growth. The experiences of individuals who have endured immense hardships, such as the homeless and addicted, shed light on the flaws in the New Age model. It becomes evident that stretching logic to fit a predetermined narrative of soul lessons fails to address the profound inequalities and traumas that afflict countless souls.
Considering the possibility of the assertions being accurate, one might wonder about the appropriate course of action. If the concept of Earth as a soul trap governed by malevolent individuals holds truth, how can we navigate it effectively? When you die, don't go into the light. How can we escape the trap? How do we ensure we don't come back to this prison of a planet ruled by evil psychopaths?
Part by matter. All right, guys, let's get right to it. I'm about to get into this awesome build. It ain't going to be a church lesson, but it's going to be a lesson that you will definitely enjoy. Let me say that. Let's see, because I'm going to definitely break quite a few things down. like literally, this is you guys know Bishop Gator. He is awesome. You know, even as a pastor, you know, you can respect people with certain knowledge, just like y'all know Pastor Stephen Darby, one of my favorite pastors of all time. Oh my gosh. I just did a dedication to him a while ago. And when doing the dedication to him, someone seen the video, and then they tagged me in the video, and then they tagged me in this video. And I'm thinking like, whoa, the ancestors sure will put you in a place so people can give you the correct information. When I say the pastor went in on every damn thing I be talking about, if I'm like, yo, it's so deep. I got to share this with y'all. It's lengthy. It's a bit long. This will be a bit of a build. I will not be reading today. I would love to get into some of the information that he's going to talk about. I may pull up one or two things, particularly about this Jason group I wanted to go into when we were showing things about the embassy. I actually looked at that and I said, well, I'll talk about it another time. And it's crazy. He brings it right up. Like it's profound. When you're doing what you're supposed to do, it's going to come to you. So let's go, y'all. I will be stopping the in-between time. Make sure y'all getting my word on this as well. And yeah, let's go.
Welcome back to all of the students of our Lord and Savior, Yeshua the Christ. We're going to jump right into the teaching tonight. Make sure quickly you have 3 items. Number 1, make sure you have the greatest weapon in history, the mind of God, the gospel.
Okay. Anyway, listen, guys, I really want you guys to get a pen and paper, right? A lot of things he's talking about, right? Some of these names you may want to write down, like literally, so you can look this stuff up yourself. A lot of this stuff he talks about, when you see some of the information, you're going to confer to some things that we've talked about in the past as well, if you've been really paying attention and listening, right? He's also going to go over a lot of different past information that you may not have ever heard before. So it will be very intriguing and informative. So make sure you guys are taking notes and paying attention. As far as that, when we get to going back into the book reads, possibly tomorrow, definitely not possibly, but tomorrow. I may do something late tonight just on the Jason group a little bit. I'm not really sure, but I'll see. But I may do something tonight, if not, definitely tomorrow. And I want you guys to make sure that you are tuned in. Be tuned in, right? Because everything that he's talking about, please take the religious aspect out of it and see it for what it is. I keep telling you guys, this book is not their book. It's never been their book. It's always been our book. They just conferred it. I'll show you guys. Maybe let's do that. Let me pull up the, let me leave it right there. Tell me that so I can pull this up. I want you guys to see. Let me see if I can pull this up real quick without taking too much time. If so, I'm going to show you guys one of the original Bibles. I told you guys there are like 5 different ones, like literally. I'm going to just show y'all one. Let's look at this one real quick. If I can pull it up in the archive and find it. It's not hidden. If it's not hidden, we'll see. Okay. Let's see real quick. I wanted to do a build on this when I do the ISIS thing, you know, the book. If anyone's seen on my community tab, I posted the information, I believe, on there. It may have been TikTok, I'm sorry, but I'll check on where is it? Oh, they don't have it in here. Dang, I'm mad because I want to show y'all real quick. Hold on, let me see. Dang, they sure don't got it in here. Of course it's hidden. I know I've seen it in here before. Oh, okay, hold on. All right, here we go. But this one's in Spanish. Dang it. Y'all see there? It's always going to be something to try to throw me off. I want y'all to see this. Okay. It's in Spanish. Which that might confuse people because they say, oh, well, that's from the Spanish people. No, it's in Spanish because it was Latin America, part of our, you know, whole nother story. I don't want to confuse nobody even further, so let me just stop. But let me see. I don't see it right now. I would definitely be bringing it up for you. If I do it live later, I'm going to make sure I have that pulled up for you guys. I do have it in my library. It's not showing in here now, but I have it in my library, so I'll be able to find it. So let's get back to this real quick. Hold on a second. Let's go.
Of the Christ. That's number 1. King James Version. Number 2, make sure you have 2 to 3 pens. And number 3, please make sure that you have a large notebook. And I really need
You made
your
it, though, sis.
prayers
That's what's up.
tonight. And I've had some powerful apostles to pray for me today, known all over the world, because my staff feels that what I'm about to expose tonight, it is going to be shocking. Now, allow me to lay the groundwork before we start tonight. It is not the intention of the bishop, nor my staff in New York City, nor my staff here, to blame anyone, okay? Allow me to wipe some of the anointing off. So it is not my goal nor my intent to blame any individual or person or entities for the assassination of my brother, Pastor Stephen Darby. I did not know him personally. He did not know me personally. I never met him personally. He never met me personally. But I feel the mind of God speaking to me concerning his life. And I want to reveal to you some of the documentation that I received from my contacts. Now, the wife of Pastor Darby will disagree with this.
I want to stress very importantly to you guys, very honestly, I really want y'all to pay attention to this video. I really, really, really need y'all, everyone that is on my frequency and in tune with everything that I keep trying to show you guys for the past year and a half, 2 years, really. People just weren't around because you guys weren't aware of me, which is fine. But now that you are, and you're hearing certain information, and this isn't ego, this is just fact. I hope y'all always know that I'm sincere in what I say, right? I don't got no reason to act egotistical with anybody. Nobody don't do nothing for me in a sense of that type of thing, right? I don't know anyone personally, right? Only a few people. Now, when it comes to this, right, everything he's talking about, remember, do not worry about the things that he references when it comes to the religious aspect. Pay very, very close attention to the information. The information that he's disclosing is what's pertinent. Otherwise, I would not be bringing it to you guys. So please pay attention.
Okay, because she's afraid. Okay. And Pastor Stephen Darby knew he was going to die. Let me say this again. Pastor Stephen Darby knew he was going to die. Okay. And Pastor Darby was a casualty of Project MK Naomi. I'll explain that. No one on this earth has ever taught on Dr. Stephen Darby's death, but I will. And so make sure you had the greatest weapon in history, the Word of God. Thank you, Pastor Colleen. Make sure you have 3 pens and make sure you have a large notebook. Please forgive me for being late. We're going to get straight into the Word of the Lord because it's late on the East Coast. Thank you, Pastor Emma, because this is heavy. This is really, really heavy. And because of this, I want to announce the bishop has...
I have to take time to welcome those that come in for the first time. Empress Virgo love, you feel me? I'm with you, baby. September 20th. That means very little, to be honest. But when we refer to that, it does give us a timeline when we were here, right? Actually energized to this particular place. It does mean something cosmologically, but in the sense of it, it doesn't. But Virgo love, sis. I feel you. We on the vibe already. I do notice when I run into people that are Virgos, it's crazy how we are so in sync, And Virgo men, I get along really good. I had one Virgo man I was very close to, and we get along very good. So I just have to say that. Peace, love, and bliss. Welcome to anyone that comes in new. Please understand a lot of things we talk about over here may be like weird or out of the way. If I'm not talking about historical stuff, definitely get into a lot of our history, making sure you're clear on that. So just want to note that to anyone that does come in, peace, love, and bliss. You are welcome, and thank you so much for joining us. All right, let's go.
Stepped up my security detail, Pastor Sam and Pastor Chris, because of what and who and where I'm going to expose those who are responsible for the liquidation of this great man of God. Heavenly Father, send forth thy truth, for thy word is truth. In Yeshua's holy name, amen. I wish to invite your attention, and I'll get to the shout outs later on. I just want to jump right into the word. Those of you in Louisville, Kentucky, it will behoove you to watch this tonight. And I want to make a major announcement that in September 2018, Pastor Corey Swain, former director of the Central Intelligence Agency, the late, I preface that, the late Gina Haspel, traveled to Louisville, Kentucky, in order to establish a CIA center at the McConnell Center there at the University of Louisville. Okay, this was 9 months after the assassination of Pastor Darby, and this was almost 2 years before the death of Breonna Taylor. So timelines are very important. So Gina Haspel traveled to the University of Louisville University, the home of the Cardinals, to speak at the world-renowned McConnell Center to establish a CIA center there. And then also during the same week, unbeknownst to a lot of you who live in and around the Louisville, Lexington, Kentucky area, this same devil, Gina Haspel, also established a CIA center, a recruiting center at the world-renowned Patterson School of Diplomacy and International Commerce at the University of Kentucky in Lexington. Okay? And so I want to lay the groundwork. Again, I'm not going to blame anyone. I'm not blaming any member of Pastor Darby's family. My assignment is to reveal and to connect the dots, people, names, places, entities, locations, those who were in and around the life of Pastor Stephen Darby. And it's up to you, the American people, to come up with the proper conclusion. Let's go into the word of the Lord, to St. Paul's apostolic letter to Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12. Those of you who live in the state of Kentucky, it would behoove you to get your family on the line here tonight, whether you live in Louisville, Lexington, or anywhere throughout the state of Kentucky. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12, and the key verse tonight, from whence we shall receive the subject tonight, will come out of the book of the Revelation of St. John the Divine, when he was on the Isle of Patmos 2,000 years ago. Revelation chapter 2, verse number 24. Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12, and Revelation chapter 2, verse 24. Let's lay foundation beginning with Ephesians chapter 6, verse number 12. For we wrestle not against an entity that we can see, flesh and blood, but against entities that we cannot see, principalities.
Make sure y'all understand that too, right? We wrestle not against flesh and blood. If you can understand what that means, which is matter, anything that's matter is flesh and blood of the physical self, right? So we don't wrestle against the flesh unless we're including ourselves, right? So you're fighting. Keep in mind when you hear that, just think about that. You're fighting in your mind, right? And what you're fighting in your mind is the thing that is fighting against the matter, right? Your mental capacity, which is the real you. That's only you, right? This physical shit ain't nothing. It's just you. This just like a shell for you, right? So the mental, the mind, which is connected to your soul, that controls that everything, right? It battles on a day-to-day with you, the physical, the matter. We wrestle not against flesh. We wrestle against flesh and not against flesh and blood, but we wrestle against principalities or something of the sort. I could be quoting it exactly wrong, but that's what it's talking about, right? But in my mind, I hear that, right? And we think about the matter. The matter is what we fight against, right? The things of the flesh. We wrestle against the flesh daily. Things that we eat, we know are horrible for us. Having sexual escapades with someone, you may not be protected. Now you have some type of disease. They've infected you with some type of foreign parasite that is actually a form of a demon, believe it or not. When you hear people talking about like venereal diseases, stuff like that, those are like demonic entities. They're energies that affect you and shit. I don't want to get into that, but like literally. So when you hear that and say we don't wrestle against flesh and blood, we wrestle against the principalities. We do wrestle against flesh and blood, your own flesh and blood. Your flesh and blood causes you to have issues that you would consider to be things that deal with your principalities as well, right? Your moral character, things of that nature. So it's like you put that like, oh, we ain't wrestling against that. We are though. Just keep that in mind. Something totally off topic of what he's saying, but please hear that.
Against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world. And since there are rulers of the darkness of this world, there are rulers of the darkness of other worlds against spiritual wickedness in high places. So the deep state shadow government is not just battling against you and I, but they are battling against themselves. Now to the key verse. Pray for me, Pastor Sam. In Revelation chapter 2, verse 24, hear ye the word of the Lord. But unto you I say, the Christ is speaking, and unto the rest, not just rest as in the number of a demographic. I say unto the rest, those who are carrying the Holy Spirit. In Thyatira, though we're in the Greek New Testament, but the New Testament term Thyatira comes from the Greek medical term thyroid. According to Eastern medical scholars, the population that has the highest degree of thyroid cancer are those in the regions of Thyatira, which is in the Middle East today. as many as have not this doctrine or teaching, and which have not known. Please look at that. Which have not known. Allow me to say it for a third time. Which have not known what? The depths of Satan or Satan. As they speak.
Now you guys can see why sometimes, I'm sorry, I'm going to try not to keep stopping. Damn, this video already long as hell. I said I ain't going to do no stopping, but it's so hard for me, y'all. Y'all don't even know. I already wanted to stop a minute ago. But either way, what he, let me go. Okay, I'm sorry, because I'm getting distracted. Let's go.
I will put upon you none other burden. Notice, which have not known the depths of Satan. I am instructed of the Lord to bring forth a one-time teaching on the assassination of Pastor Stephen Darby, Project MK Naomi. The assassination of Stephen Darby, Project MK Naomi. Let's lay apostolic foundation. Project MK Naomi was created by both the Truman administration, dovetailed with the oncoming 1953 Eisenhower administration. MK Naomi was a joint project between the Central Intelligence Agency and the Military Special Operations Division, involving the use of chemical and biological agents, toxins, in order to liquidate and to eliminate threats to the state. It started in 1952 and supposedly ended in 1970, but the agency has continued.
I'm sorry, maybe not belongs to him, but it started before that. We've read the documentation on this stuff, you know, but either or, the pastor's going on what he knows and the information, but privy to that, you guys know that this has been going on way before that. You know, the alchemy, oh my gosh, goes back to even 1800. So like, yeah, I don't want to talk too much about it, but y'all know. Let's go.
The project called MK Naomi. As a side note, on Jeffrey Epstein's island, there was a house built for the model Naomi Campbell. If you look on Google Images, the home that was built by the ex-boyfriend of Naomi Campbell is in the shape of the eye of Ra. The Persian interpretation.
Y'all know I be tripping over here. It'd be hard to hold my damn peace. Listen, not only is that right, do you guys know how y'all love sports so much? This for you men out there. I'm sorry, because y'all be sports crazy. Y'all would whoop y'all woman ass if she don't want to turn the TV. Like, really, I've seen stories, literally, because nobody can tell me no different on that one. So I know how serious the sports is. People get into arguments about that. Now, when it comes to the sports, right, do you know it's the same thing with the stadiums? I want you to look. I did a build on it a while back, and I also believe it's on my community tab maybe from a year ago. Look at the eye, the shape of the eye. All of the stadiums are shaped like that. All of the all of the sports, places have that eye, and it means something very intense. So let's go.
Interpretation for Naomi is to poison. The interpretation through the Persian lexicon for Naomi is poison. Follow me. Project MK Naomi was the successor for Project MK Ultra. Project MK Ultra, designed by a Khazarian demon by the name of Dr. Sidney Gottlieb. In 1953, MK Ultra was designed to actually infiltrate the Black church, because the Black church was the most powerful, influencing entity in America during the Civil Rights Movement.
And we know why that is, right?
MK Ultra.
Hold on now. Pastor ain't gonna put y'all up on this, but we already up on it, right? We know that's because it was part of infiltration of the Black natives, right? We know that the Black natives play a part in all of this. They are the ones who constructed and orchestrated the first AME churches all around everywhere in the early 1800s, some of them in the 1700s, so very late. So we know that. The pastor's not going to mention that, but y'all don't forget it.
Serving as the foundation for MK Naomi was designed by Sidney Gottlieb, the spy master who created what we call LSD. From a spiritual paradigm, what is the first letter of Lucifer? L. What is the first letter of Satan or Satan? S. What is the first letter of devil? D. There's your LSD. Project MK Ultra was designed by Sidney Gottlieb, who had recruited an agent by the name of L. Ron Hubbard. You've been told a lie that L. Ron Hubbard created the Church of Scientology. He did not.
It's a front.
The Church of Scientology is a creature of the CIA.
Uh-oh.
It is a mind control, present day cultic system that has wrapped its demonic tail around the Hollywood elite. L. Ron Hubbard, who became the face of the Church of Scientology,
he
was paid by his handler, his spy master, Sidney Gottlieb, to create a present day MK Ultra, MK Naomi religious entity called Scientology, which now, a few years ago, paid Louis Farrakhan $2 million to buy the Nation of Islam. What would Malcolm X say today? The assassination of Pastor Stephen Darby, MK Naomi. Let's lay foundation. L. Ron Hubbard, a known racist, who was one of the most influential pedophiles in history, designed with CIA money the Church of Scientology, where they specialize in religious MK Ultraism. So the founder of the Church of Scientology is not L. Ron Hubbard. It was Dr. Sidney Gottlieb. The Gottlieb bloodline came out of Germany, but during the 1700s, 30% had owned slaves in what we call the United Kingdom.
Them black natives, huh? Here they go.
Because the Gottlieb family had bought 175 slaves in 1790 from a man by the name of Bishop Cicero Stephen Darby.
Bishop
Pastor
Darby.
Sand, I need your prayers tonight.
Bishop Darby.
Bishop Cicero Stephen Darby in 1790 was a part of the Church of England.
My granddad's name was Cicero, so I know. Cicero,
who was also a slave owner in a district called Birmingham.
Oh, yeah, we about to get into this, baby. Oh, it's getting good. I'm telling you, it's going to get juicy.
So the Darby bloodline in Kentucky, also out of West Virginia, is connected to the Gottlieb family, both out of Germany and through England.
Black native.
The assassination.
See, y'all know what's up over here, right? Anybody that's new, let me let y'all know what's going on. See, these Europeans, right? Let me put this in the chat real quick. Slow down, sis. I don't want them to skip nothing. I was about to forget I wanted to do that. Hold on. Let me put some in the chat real quick for y'all. When it comes to even Farrakhan, all this stuff go back to England here, the going back to the Europeans that were the Black Europeans. So this is the definition for Farah. So remember what they just told y'all about Farrakhan. All this should be orchestrated because y'all know what Islam is. We talked about this before with the what? The Pacte de Singularum. Who remembers me bringing that up at least 3 times? I know very important things I bring up in multiple bills. The Pacte de Singularum. I brought it up and shown it to you guys. It has the whole pact of the whole entire construct of Islam that controls everything. All of that Islam goes back to these people that are the Jesuits, going back to the church, to everything that is orchestrated with these people having to cover up for these pale faces being their people, because a lot of them pale faces, they Negroes, but they just got light skin, light hair, light eyes, a lot of them, but they pure Negro. Listen, if y'all ain't aware of that, make sure y'all stay tuned and make sure y'all be tapped in. I'm gonna do a private screening on some more of this information as well for our private screening group. If you are interested, you better make sure you send me an email that says private screening group, because I'm not going to be going back and forth. It gets me a little aggravated when I got to keep doing stuff when I'm trying to do one thing because somebody didn't do it on time or do it right. Like literally, y'all need to put it in there if y'all want to be in this, because it's only if y'all have your email, you'll be able to be in the private viewing. So we're getting a group together who all's going to get in there for this month. Y'all going to be the first ones to start the book, the study group for the books. So let me know by like the end of this week. No, yeah, because this week went by so quick. Tomorrow's Friday, so by Saturday, y'all need to let me know, because I want to try to get it in this week, because the whole week is gone. I need to at least do the private viewing by Sunday. So you need to have an email to me by Saturday if you want to be a part of that. Let's go.
Darby, M.K. Naomi. 2 years before MK Ultra, the Central Intelligence Agency, which actually goes back pre-World War II to the OSS, the Office of Strategic Services, which was the precursor after World War II of the Central Intelligence Agency. Every U.S. agency, CIA, NSA, FBI, Pentagon, DOD, the Department of Defense, DARPA, your Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, and IAPA, the Intelligence Advanced Research Projects Activity Agency, was built through the mind and the intelligentsia of Nazi technology through Operation Paperclip. Operation Paperclip, right after World War II, where the United States government took 1,500 Nazi scientists and doctors and professors and dentists and shipped them to the United States to build what we call today the American industrial complex. So Project Naomi is an offspring of Nazi medical technology. Let's continue to lay foundation. Including NASA was built by Nazis. Your street camera,
Pay
built
attention.
by Nazis. The
Message.
American intelligence community, built by Nazis.
Message.
2 years prior, before the outbreak of MK Ultra, in 1951, the CIA had sent a biological scientist by the name of Frank Olson. He was a biological professor, a chemist working for the Central Intelligence Agency, who then supposedly committed suicide, Pastor Carla, in 1953, falling out of a hotel in Midtown Manhattan out of the 13th floor. 13th floor.
Y'all remember that? They tried to say he committed
Frank
suicide.
Olson,
The
the
past.
Olson bloodline coming
Mhm.
out of Norway, 25% is connected to the Dietrich bloodline out of Germany that produced Major Frederick Louis Dietrich, who was a depopulationist working for the United States military during World War I. Major Louis Frederick Louis Dietrich, his name is called Fort Detrick in Maryland. I'll come back to Fort Detrick. The assassination of Pastor Stephen Darby, Project MK Naomi. In 1951, the CIA sent Dr. Frank Olson to the nation of France 6 years after World War II, where Dr. Frank Olson, along with Dr. Ira Baldwin, had poisoned the entire village in the French town of Pont-Saint-Esprit. Allow me to pronounce that. Pont-Saint, P-O-N-T-S-A-N-T, Esprit, E-S-P-R-I-T, in 1951. where the CIA poisoned the food supply of France, beginning at this small village, French town called Pont-Saint-Esprit.
I don't know how many of you guys are old enough to remember a very well-known store called E-Spirit. Put one in the chat if y'all remember E-Spirit. Do y'all remember E-Spirit? Do y'all remember E-Spirit and it being a part of what maybe Sears and Roebuck Company? Keep this in mind. Listen to what he's talking about. But he's going to, let me see. Did he talk? Damn, I think he did. E-Spirit. Let me see. Just listen to what he's saying. I want y'all to remember this. Sears and Roebuck. I don't even remember how to spell Roebuck. C-H-E, I believe. Sears and Roebuck. I might be wrong, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay, so a couple of y'all do remember. E-Spirit. Remember, it had the square words. It was fire. At one time, like purses, they had shoes, they had all kind of stuff, all kind of fashion stuff. And in the same sense, he ain't gonna mention this, but I'm gonna tell y'all this: Sears and Roebucks. Thank you, Roebucks. That sounds better. That looks better. But yes, E-Spirit and Sears and Roebucks. But Sears and Roebucks. If you guys remember, not too long ago was a thing they were talking, telling people about what they was selling the kids and stuff on Wayfair. You guys remember Wayfair issue a couple of years ago? Think about E-Spirit as well, and think about what he's talking about now. He ain't gonna connect that and see that, but y'all just remember that. Let's go.
Poisoning not just the food supply, but the French breads,
I look a mess.
resulting in mysterious mass poisoning that led to psychotic episodes, 5 deaths, causing 300 types of illnesses, and an additional 30 psychiatric conditions, which the bloodline in 51 in that village in France has transferred to the bloodline of the French people today. Cases leading to the victims being locked up in mental asylums. Dr. Frank Olson was liquidated, who liquidated a part of that French village, was himself mind controlled, who then committed suicide in New York City in 53 in a hotel in Midtown Manhattan.
I don't believe that. He did not.
Jumping out of a 13th floor.
Whole nother story, whatever.
What I'm doing, I'm laying historical foundation so you can better understand the foreground of what happened to our brother, Pastor Stephen Darby. The Pont-Saint-Esprit conspiracy was a conspiracy by the CIA with the blessing of director Alan Dulles. The Dulles bloodline, also coming up out of Germany, is related to the Dietrich bloodline, who's related, to the Gottlieb bloodline, who owned slaves out of England, where Bishop Cicero Stephen Darby sold 175 slaves to a man by the name of Samuel Gottlieb in the direct year of 1770. Wait a minute now. The Darbys, the Gottliebs, the Dietrichs, Fort Detrick, Maryland, the Olsons, everyone involved in poisoning. Truth, the related. You have never in your life heard this teaching before. The assassination of Stephen Darby. Project MK Naomi. Let's continue to lay foundation. This is crazy, Pastor Graves. From mind control to murder, how a deadly pathogen had almost destroyed the nation of France. So then the Central Intelligence Agency's Operation Paperclip, where 1,500 Nazi doctors, scientists, chemists, biologists, and professors had worked with a man by the name of Wild Bill Donovan, one of the principal architects of the creation of the CIA. If you get a chance, see the movie called The Good Shepherd with Matt Damon. Wild Bill Donovan is played by Robert De Niro. Wild Bill Donovan had hired a chemical biologist by the name of Dr. Albert Hoffman. Albert Hoffman, who taught Dr. Sidney Gottlieb how to design the LSD, that first targeted the Black church through Project MK Naomi. Alan Dulles had hired a man by the name of Dr. Frank Rudolph Emanuel Olson. So then, the Central Intelligence Agency, do you remember the Nuremberg trials in 1946? From whence we get the Nuremberg Code that served as the manifesto of how to control biological and chemical weapons of mass destruction, how to also perform interrogations through torture. Frank Olson, during the Olson bloodline, goes back to the time of the Middle Ages in Norway in connection to St. Anthony's fire caused by a parasitic ergo fungus that was attached to cereals. St. Anthony's fire during the antiquity of—
I want to make sure you guys understand that. I'm sorry. I gotta go. This fungi or fungus, that bacteria that is connected to cereal, do y'all understand that? To cereal. He's correct. Remember, I told you guys back in the 70s when they started doing the GMO, all the children were breaking out. They had hives. They were getting sick. They didn't know what was going on. They was having seizures, all because they opened this GMO damn farm in the damn town. All right. So now on the sense of that, the cereal, you know, almost every cereal you look on, when you look on the ingredients, it's going to tell you that it's wheat in there. It's wheat, made with wheat. That wheat is that germ that you every morning when you sit down at the table and you're giving your child a bowl of cereal, they're literally eating this bacteria. You're feeding it to them. You're feeding your children parasites when you're giving them this cereal from this damn wheat. And I'm so serious about that. So if you continue to do that, you know, that's on you, that's your child. But, you know, in the same sense of that, keep that in mind.
Of the Middle Ages was caused by a parasitic ergo, ERGO, fungus that was attached to cereals to this day. In December of 1942, Frank Olson got a call from Dr. Ira Baldwin.
That part, man, Amy.
Who was working as the founder and the director of the Wisconsin Academy Foundation.
What's amazing is they'll tell you this stuff, right? But if you don't have the education in your mind to sit and think about what makes sense and to pay attention to these things, what's important versus rushing and running through your life because these people want you to. They want you off guard. They don't want you to be able to think, use your mind like, oh, let me make sure what's going in my child's body. You know what I'm saying? It's not that hard. So like sis said, wheat germ, it's right there. And then so many times they'll talk about, I think they say some wheat germ for some type of energy drink. I've heard it a lot. I'm like, damn, they telling people to put this, talking about energy drink. What type of energy? We're talking about radium, which comes in absorbed in the body easily. So the radium or radium, right, that we talk about all the time, and let you guys know how you're pulling that shit in from every damn where. And if you're not detoxifying yourself, removing yourself from EMFs, unplugging your cable, your Wi-Fi box, getting the Faraday sheets so that you can wrap your phones and things at night, wrap your computers and shit up. That shit's important. You might think like, damn, that's a lot to do with shit. Ain't your life worth it? I'm just saying. And then you can sit and hear these things, wheat germ. Once you hear germ shit, you know that shit ain't right. The only germ that your body's accustomed to is the germ that it creates to orchestrate to get rid of parasites and things, because you have that special antigen. The antigen that is in your blood that actually fights off and kills things. That's what Trump was talking about when he was talking about the disinfectant. He was being funny, but he was literally talking about y'all, us. The shit is so crazy sometimes. Let's get back to it here. I go stopping again.
Which was a creature of the CIA. Unbeknownst to Frank Olson, Dr. Ira Baldwin was a covert OSS agent, the Office of Strategic Services, which became the CIA after World War II. Dr. Ira Baldwin was the thesis advisor at the University of Wisconsin for Frank Olson. Dr. Sidney Gottlieb, a chemist, was the spy master who headed the CIA's assassination program beginning in 1953. Dr. Gottlieb led the biological chemical weapons of mass destruction of the 50s and 60s called MK Ultra.
A jar.
Dr. Gottlieb.
What you just said. That right there just almost made me want to vomit. Almost, seriously. I got a weak stomach, so stuff can't throw me over. I'm exaggerating at this point, but it almost was that bad. Literally. Thinking about when I seen you say they sell wheat germ in a jar, I'm thinking like, ew, that shit just, the thought of it sent a picture in my mind, just bacteria, fungus, parasites, and shit growing in a damn jar. Then a person going, oh, let me go buy me some. Let me, they said this is good for me. So since they said it, let's just get it. Are you fucking serious? Let's go.
It created the Church of Scientology. Let me say this again. It was not L. Ron Hubbard.
Mm-hmm.
It was Dr. Sidney Gottlieb who recruited L. Ron Hubbard to be the face of the Church of Scientology. L. Ron Hubbard, a known racist.
I'm going to go and get a couple links for you guys to look at for things that are good for your phone right now. I'm going to get you some things that you can purchase for your phone, put them on your phone, your children's phone. You can put them on your computer. You can put them on your laptops. There are sheets, the EMF blocking sheets, which are efficient to blocking the radiation that comes from smart TVs, the LED TVs, the plasma TVs, your computer, laptops, any computerized item that you have in your home, you want to cover it up. A fax machine, even a fax machine receives Wi-Fi, so it is connectivity to those frequencies as well. So any of these things you can cover up with the sheets. They're not very, very expensive. Depending on how many items you have, you may want to get a few of them and then, go from there. Yeah. So let's go, y'all. I'm going to try not to stop unless it's something important. I got to say real quick, y'all. I'm going to try.
Was the tool of the agency to bring about mind control, mind manipulation, behavior modification, and behavior control to the American public. That's why the Church of Scientology is targeting Black
That's crazy you said that, sis. I'm sorry, guys. Real quick. That's crazy you said that, but a spiritually conscious vegan, they're not gonna eat things, and they should be aware of certain things. You know, there's certain things. I'm a vegan. You know, sometimes I slip up. I'll eat things. I'm not gonna lie. You know, I used to have a bad habit of eating, but I'm like awesome now. You know, and when I do slip, I make sure that okay, I want this. I don't deprive myself of anything. So if I want something, a lot of times the shit make me sick. You know, I ain't gonna even lie. I've got a stomach ache, run to the bathroom, something. But I'm talking about I want it. You know, that's just the weakness in the physical matter of self. You know, not having the mind control sometimes to you know, withstand it. But I do. So we got to be careful with these things. But being a vegan, you know, eliminating meats and certain things, pastas, and I mean, there's so many things you got to just be careful. You know, you got to orchestrate your taste buds to what you like. I like vegetables, I like fruits, you know, so I can make all kinds of things, variety of things. I can make a portobello mushroom sandwich with some avocado, tomato, you know, put it on a bed of lettuce. Bam, there's my sandwich. Sometimes I'll eat bread. I know bread not good for me, but I'll get a 5-grain bread. I love sunflower bread. Sunflower seed bread is delicious. I'll get that, like, you know, a full grain bread, you know. Yes, sis, we got to take care of ourselves. If not, listen, and then we be showing people around us bad habits when we don't. Let's go, y'all. I'm gonna go off. Let's go.
America. The assassination of Pastor Stephen Darby, Project MK Naomi. Let's continue to lay apostolic foundation. Operation Paperclip had a man by the name of General Reinhard Gehlen, who after World War II created the Gehlen Organization. Reinhard Gehlen, before and during World War II, created a secret society called Action, capital Aktion, which is a Germanic term meaning Antifa, anti-fascist. Also, the fascists were the Soviet Union. But at the same time, the Soviet Union had a killer, okay, by the name of Mikhailovich Molotov, who was an assassin under the tutelage of Joseph Stalin during the October 1917 Russian Revolution. Mikhailovich Molotov went on to design the Molotov cocktail. Mikhailovich Molotov had designed the present day logo for Antifa. That logo for Antifa was not created by George Soros. It was originally designed by Mikhailovich Molotov, a fascist who designed the Molotov cocktail, but yet at the same time, Reinhard Gehlen's organization, Action, anti-fascists, were also in bed with fascists by the name of Mikhailovich Molotov. As a side note, while the father of Antifa is Reinhard Gehlen, who also designed Project Odessa, a passageway for Nazis to escape the judgment from the West through the Vatican. But the founding mother of what you call Black Lives Matter today is not George Soros. 3 men design the Thuggy Secret Society, capital THUGGE, the Thuggy Secret Society that goes back to the early part of the 1300s and eventually was destroyed by the British Crown in the early part of the 1900s. The Thuggy Secret Society came up out of India. Nothing against our Indian students. They were the first ones to give the thug, the gang hand signs, long before there was a blood, long before there was a Crip, long before there were Pyrus. And the term Pyru is the name of a demon in Finnish demonology or demonology history out of Finland. The term Pyru means smart aleck.
Listen.
Another topic for another day. 3 men created the Thuggy Seeker Society. Okay. Buram B. Okay. Lavith L. and Morty M. Those are the letters of Black Lives Matter, but the spiritual paradigm of Black Lives Matter did not come from George Soros. It came from 3 of the creators and the founders of the first gang industrial complex in history, the Thuggy Seeker Society. Buram B., Lavith L., and Morty M., Black Lives Matter. So you have Balak, you have Lives or Lavith, you have Morty, okay, manumission, to control a new slave, to design a new slave. So Antifa is Nazism in its paradigm. Black Lives Matter is a gangster demon in its paradigm. So the hand signs of the thugs, their god or the goddess of Buram B., Lavith L., and Morty M., the thugs, their goddess was a demoness by the name of, listen, Kaylee. K-A-L-I. Look it up. Google Images. So Kaylee is a multi-armed, breasted demoness who had on her body the skulls of the men that she conquered. Well, Kaylee means life, but she was worshipped by thugs. This is where you get the paradigm, Black folk. Thug life. Thug life came up out of the Thuggy Seeker Society. Thug, which means thuggery or that which kills identity. Thug, thuggy. Their god or goddess means life, Kaylee. This is where you get the term thug life. This is what Pastor Stephen Darby was exposing. The assassination of Pastor Stephen Darby, Project MK Naomi. So Dr. Sidney Gottlieb in 1953 created the Church of Scientology by recruiting an agent by the name of L. Ron Hubbard, who became the face of the Church of Scientology. The Church of Scientology is rooted in Nazism. Through Operation Paperclip, right after World War II, where over 1,500 Nazi scientists taught the CIA how to poison an individual going undetected through autopsy. The assassination of Stephen Darby. Let's continue the lay foundation. Thank you, Pastor Lucy. From 1946.
What do you mean the links, brother? I don't understand.
All the way up to 1992.
Listen.
The United States government performed over 1,500 tests of atom and hydrogen bombs throughout Nevada deserts, where between 250,000 to 500,000 soldiers between 1946 to 1992 had contracted cancers, leukemia, blood tumors because they were used as guinea pigs to build the military-industrial complex in detonating through atomic and hydrogen bomb testing throughout the state of Nevada. Follow me closely here. More than 1,500 nuclear detonations held in Nevada deserts between 46 and 92, but more specifically in 1951 to 1992. In 1948, going back, Dr. Albert Hoffman, who had created LSD in conjunction to sensory deprivation. Sensory deprivation is mind control through the medication industrial complex. I got to be careful. I don't want us to get a strike, and I don't want us to be taken down. Allow me to use wisdom. MK Ultra, along with Project Midnight Climax, later served as the precursor for Stanford University's prison experiment during the 1950s and 60s, where prisoners were paid $100.
$100. Listen to this shit,
and given their freedom to be traveled, to be ushered to Stanford University's psychological department.
Yes.
Where today the Stanford University is subsidized by the Central Intelligence Agency. And so that is called the Stanford University's prison experiment through Dr. Philip Zimbardo. Then you have the Milgram experiment, where the agency recruits Black pastors going back to the 50s and 60s to infiltrate the civil rights movement. Recruit agents who then serve as guinea pigs for the continuation of not just the Milgram experiment, but also the Tuskegee experiment. The Tuskegee experiment started in 1932 all the way up to 1972. The question, who subsidized the Tuskegee Institute syphilis conspiracy? A man that is adored by Black America, okay? A man who was one of the founding fathers of the Sears Roebuck Company, okay? And a man that gave Tuskegee University $250,000, okay, for the Tuskegee Institute. Now, before I expose his name, listen. This man built the 5,000 Rosenwald schools in the South. Julius Rosenwald, the founder of the Sears Roebuck Company, who gave $100,000 to Joseph Stalin to bring about the demise of the Romanov dynasty. So this same man, Julius Rosenwald, gave a $250,000 check to Tuskegee in 1929, 2 years before his death, where 600 black men and women were injected with syphilis. I'm not making this a black and white victimhood paradigm. My assignment is to help you wrap your thinking as to why Stephen Darby was a clear and present threat to the United States government. The assassination of Stephen Darby, Project MK Naomi. I'm praying that Louisville and Kentucky is watching tonight. The Milgram experiment was the successor for the Tuskegee Institute. So your Julius Rosenwald, the same devil who also was the best friend of John D. Rockefeller. John D. Rockefeller wrote a $100,000 check and gave it to Julius Rosenwald in 1929 in order for Rosenwald to give it to another best friend, Hollywood director Cecil B. DeMille, to give it to his hoe, his mistress, by the name of Margaret Sanger.
Y'all heard that? The tramp, the skank.
Margaret Sanger.
Let's say more about this woman that had 2 children out of wedlock. Y'all aware of that, right? Why she wanted to tell people to have abortions and get rid of their life that is actually real life, plasma life, that they were aborting in these centers that they did for the dehumanization, of course, and the eugenics projects that she was part of with the Rockefellers, right? She had 2 children out of wedlock with her husband. 1 with her husband, 3 children, 1 with her husband, 2 with these other 2. Pay attention. Listen to this. There's nobody that came from nowhere. Just like the lady with the what is it? The brown-eyed, blue-eyed experiment. What's her name? What's her name? There's a lady that did a blind-eyed, blue-eyed experiment out the blue. She became famous, and they just talked about it for centuries and years, and they act like she's so intelligent because she brought to light about the prejudices and such. Just because she was a little 3rd grade teacher that didn't know nothing. And now I heard this on what's the lady name? The Princella lady. She did an interview with her, and the lady was demising her so bad. I'm like, dang, I didn't know this lady was this ignorant. I thought she was a little smarter than that. All I know is about the experiments. Come to find out, this woman was just a 3rd grade teacher. Like literally, she was a nobody that just made up a little experiment she did with the kids without the parents' permission, and she got famous behind it. Talk about that.
Was nothing but a trick hoe. I said it.
Yeah,
I got the testicular fortitude to say what needs to be said. Margaret Sanger's children, 2 of the 3 don't even belong to her husband. 1 son belongs to Cecil B. DeMille. And another son belongs to the Hollywood actor W.C. Fields. 2 of her 3 children were not her husbands. And so why is it that black folk, not just black folk, why is it that the left worships Margaret Sanger? Margaret Sanger recruited an African-American female scholar in Chicago by the name of Dorothy Taylor. Dorothy Taylor penned the 1939 Negro Project,
now,
which was the final solution for Black America beginning.
Listen, man, y'all might think I'd be exaggerating when I keep throwing this shit in y'all face about these damn Black Native Americans, right? But I'm not. I want y'all to really get this shit pounded in y'all head. Y'all see a second ago, Pastor, earlier, he repeated something 3 times to y'all because he wants y'all to really get it. I do that with y'all all the time because it's so important to understand and need that you need to have this stuff edified in your freaking mind and know that it ain't a joke. Like, seriously, it's so crazy.
With the extermination of Black babies. Now, listen, any child is a gift from God. I don't care what color it is. But to understand why my brother Stephen Darby was assassinated, we have to look at the background foundation. in order for us to understand the foreground of what is happening today. So Margaret Sanger, a straight up trick hole, who told Black mothers that the most terrible place for your child to be is in your womb. Margaret Sanger said that. Every Margaret Sanger statute should be destroyed. Now, I don't believe in committing a crime and going out and burning down buildings and statues. But through the legal system, okay, Margaret Sanger statutes must be destroyed. She also said when she spoke in the Silver Line City of New Jersey, in Silver Lake, New Jersey, in 29, she spoke as the guest speaker for the Ladies Auxiliary of the KKK. This is a woman who Black folk love on the left. Listen to this. She says that Black people are like human weeds that must be uprooted and exterminated. So this trick hole who was sleeping with W.C. Fields, who was sleeping with Hollywood director of the Ten Commandments, Cecil B. DeMille, received a $100,000 check from Cecil B. DeMille, who received it from Julius Rosenwald, who had received it from John D. Rockefeller to create Planned Parenthood. 10 years later, in 39, a Black female scholar out of Chicago by the name of Dorothy Taylor wrote, as the slave for Margaret Sanger, the Negro Project for the Extermination of Black Children. She recruited the Black theological intelligentsia. Black theologians signed the 1939 Negro Project. The NAACP was not founded by Black people. Stop.
I told y'all.
It was founded by Khazarians out of Eastern Europe. Oh, Lord. I want you to hear me. Listen. So the NAACP was founded by...
And like I told y'all before, so was the KKK. Black natives originated this shit. Trust and believe me. Let's go.
Eastern European Khazarians, okay? The Spingarn brothers, okay, created the NAACP, SNCC Core Urban League. Every Black organization is controlled by people who don't look like us. Listen, I am not teaching Munchausen syndrome by proxy, okay? My assignment is to expose the system. So your NAACP, SNCC Core Urban League, even your Nation of Islam, founded by a white man from New Zealand. That's Farrakhan's God. So Black folk don't own anything. Listen, Black folk don't even own BET, okay? Mr. Johnson sold it for pennies on the dollar to Viacom. So Black folk, you're still on the plantation.
And even though everybody hate Trump, right? Thanks to Trump, y'all know that's why these record people start getting the control of their labels. Y'all know that they got their masters back. Do y'all know that? Everybody got their masters. Everybody's got their masters back from these companies because of some law. Oh, damn, I'm sorry, y'all. I can't remember stuff like that. But Trump did a law that put it into effect with the music rights. I told you guys the Pimps and Ferris book. I keep telling y'all need to read it. It'll show y'all all of this type of stuff, how they've been doing this. And Trump put a stop to it. That's why they got him in jail now. They're mad because he was using everything I could be trying to get y'all to do with your credit and using your social history and everything you're born into with those credits versus that fake ass cash. Trump was doing that and they mad. So now they taking him to court saying, oh, you borrowed all this money. You got these companies, and you went to the bank and you got X, Y, and Z amount of money and told them that you had this and you had that, but you ain't really have it, this, and that. He faked the front. Shit, he hustled. He was a hustler. Shit, he got that bread. The banks ain't complaining. The banks ain't had no problem with him saying what he was gonna do, and he didn't go out there and do it. Shit, he didn't get the money and messed it up. He got the money based off him saying, oh, I got this X, Y, and Z credit, which he do got. He was born with it. If he was born in the United States, I'm not sure. He's German. We know that, but look what's going on with the Germans. So he's gonna have a rule for that. So he had the same credits that anybody else do, any other native do, that they do, right? That they give all the citizens, right? He has the citizenship. So now they want to take him to putting him worried about what this man was doing with the banks. When the banks ain't give a damn, shit, they got that good money. Shit, Trump paid them back with interest and some, you feel me? And put more money in their bank because his businesses was booming because he was a smart man. So now they using that against him, and they got shit to do with being the president, what he did as a president. The whole shit is fake and a fraud because we know the system is rigged. We know there's a pretentious system that's operating all this stuff right now. We know that they're not actually even in control. There's no government. We know the White House is closed the hell down, big closed down for a minute. We know that shit got fucking bars around it, literally with chains. Like, come on, y'all. Who ain't woke right now?
Not all of us, but most of you. Another topic for another day.
That part.
So the assassination of Pastor Stephen Garvey. So let's get back to the 1939 Negro Project.
Mm-hmm.
Dorothy Taylor recruited Black pastors who signed on the dotted line for the extermination of Black children called abortion. Your Boule Secret Society members, beginning with Dr. Henry McKee Minton and Brigadier Jackson, all the way down to W.E.B. Du Bois, a house Negro, signed on the 1939 Negro Project.
And keep in mind, when Ida B. Wells, right? She was writing with W.E.B. Du Bois because she wasn't aware that he was a member of this organization. She wasn't aware of these Northerners and these fucking frauds, all these Black freaking natives. She didn't know about that. So she contacted him because he had a well-known name. She reached out to him, hey, Mr. Du Bois, can you help me out? They down here hanging our people, taking their property and shit. They tried to take mine. They tried to take my siblings, but I took control with a shotgun. She came with a shotgun at 16 years old, Ida B. Wells. And she was like, if y'all let my brother and sisters go, because I'm taking control of them, I got responsibility to this house, my rights for whatever we got, my parents left. Y'all ain't taking shit. Think that little 16-year-old girl ain't know what she was doing. Then she went on to what? Create the stories, letting people know what they were doing to our people down south. She started writing the stories, putting it in the newspaper. Then they started coming against her. She met up with W.E. Du Bois. She contacted him. She came up to Chicago. He was supposed to be helping her and assisting her with the NAACP organization and getting everything out in the open because he was well known and he could spread the word with his influence. And what did he do? He had her come up there and he pushed her right to the side. Nobody heard much about it other than what she was already doing. These people something else. When I say they're getting your way, when I say Ida B. Wells thought that she had a hand in this brown man, she thought she had a good hand in this brother, this well-known, well-educated brother that she thought would give a good influence to the word of the people being killed. Her ancestors, the people on the lands that we have forever. She wanted to make sure that he knew that this shit gets spread to the whole world. Listen, this is going on down south. Y'all need to come do something because they killing our people. They burning them. They drowning them out. They doing this and that. They was doing it in other places, but not to the extent they were doing it down there. That's why she brought notice to it. And what did he do? He brought her down there and brushed her off, and it never went any further. She ended up dying at a little building that she bought and was helping people do, like if they were drunks and needed help, like a mission place. She kind of had like a mission. I can't remember what it was called, but it's still up to this day. The building's still there. But yeah, let's go.
Well, who was Dorothy Taylor? Dorothy Taylor was the grandmother of Valerie June Jarrett. Valerie Jarrett's grandmother,
right?
The same Valerie Jarrett who supports little Dr. Tony, little midget Fauci. I don't want us to be taken down or to get censored or a strike. So Valerie Jarrett, a close political confidant of Bathhouse Berry, that Valerie Jarrett, she is a eugenicist. Her father, doctor, listen.
He told us to. He told us.
Her father was a black eugenicist.
Black native eugenicist. Listen to this shit.
Valerie Jarrett's father was a black eugenicist. Now, don't take us down. Listen.
Yeah.
Don't take us down YouTube. Okay.
I'm sorry.
My responsibility is to expose the system. Okay. Wait a minute now. Now, Bishop, help me. Who was the father of Valerie June Jarrett?
Listen.
He was a boule by the name of Dr. James E. Bowman, who died in 2011. This same Dr. James E. Bowman was an educational slave of a Khazarian devil going back to the 50s and 60s by the name of Dr. Alf Alvin. Alf, capital A-L-F, Alvin, capital A-L-V-I-N-G. Dr. Alf Alvin and his slave, the father of Valerie Jarrett, Dr. James E. Bowman,
good old black name,
went to the state penitentiary in Peoria, Illinois during the late 50s and 60s,
where I grew up,
to inject black men, Latino men, okay, with gonorrhea and syphilis to see how the anatomy of a man would respond. That is the father of Valerie June Jarrett.
Mm-hmm. Listen.
Oh, there's an anointing here tonight. The assassination of Pastor Stephen Darby, Project MK Naomi.
Mm-hmm.
So the grandmother of Valerie Jarrett, Dorothy Taylor, was a proponent for the abortion of her own people.
Y'all hear this
That's
shit?
your Democratic Party.
Mm-hmm.
Let's continue to lay foundation. Stay there in Ephesians 6 and 12. And also keep a paperclip in the key verse of Revelation 2:24. The assassination of Pastor Stephen Darby, Project MK Naomi. The San Quentin prison experiments, subsidized by the United States government from 1913 all the way up to 1951. After World War II, the CIA from 1946 to 51 had subsidized another devil by the name of Dr. Leo Stanley. Dr. Leo Stanley was a major proponent of eugenics, who was an OSS agent during the time of the Second World War. Dr. Leo Stanley would take the testicles of men and transplant that part of the man's body with the testicles of animals. I want you to hear me.
This shit.
Dr. Leo Stanley,
who even thinks to do shit like
who was a protege, of Dr. Alf Alvin, who was a educational protege of the father of Valerie Jarrett, James E. Bowman. Dr. Leo Stanley would castrate men who were accused of rape and spent time in prison in San Quentin, and would destroy their testicles and would take testicles of certain animals to attach them to the private parts of a man. This is the San Quentin Project, later subsidized by the CIA. The Boston Project, from 1953 to 1957, through the Oak Ridge Laboratory outside of Boston, where Dr. William Sweet would inject uranium into black prisoners.
Listen to these demons. Literally
Male and
demons, though.
female.
For real, I ain't just saying it. They demons for real.
Getting back to the Tuskegee Institute.
Listen.
From 1932 to 1972, for a protracted period of 40 years, 600 black farmers from the state of Alabama, unbeknownst to them, was injected with syphilis. I'm not a proponent of reparations, but in this case, I am.
Hearing this shit.
The only thing that the United States government did was to give an apology through slick Willie Bill Clinton. See, black folk, the Democratic Party don't care about you. Listen.
I think Bill
so the Tuskegee Institute,
I ain't gonna get into that, but
they had the ability to inject penicillin to save these men and women, but they withheld it to over 600 black male and female farmers. The CIA's University of California's experiment on newborn.
I'm about to give y'all something, right? I'm finna drop something in the chat for y'all. Y'all better grab it, because for some reason they keep turning off the comments on my chat. I don't try to go back and put them in there, but they'll turn them off. I suggest y'all grab this right now, right? Grab it right now. It's a PDF, so you're gonna have to ask. No, do I have to give the? I don't think. No, I don't think it's like. I think you guys can just grab this per se, from the link, and just put it in, and it should open. Okay. Make sure y'all grab this, because I need y'all to tap into that. He gonna tap a little bit or talk about this a little bit. Actually, it's crazy. I said, wow, I found the document on it, so. Y'all make sure y'all get that, pull it out the chat, because you're not going to be able to get it later. All right, let's go.
113 babies, 90% being black and Latino, were experimented on during the 1960s.
And keeping in mind, it's always about the land, like Sis say, right? And when you think about the land, we're talking about the fertile soil land, right? And also the land of who? The woman. The womb. The only other land is the woman's womb. The womb and the soil.
To predetermine blood flow pressure, 40 babies were placed on circumcision boards.
No links. It's right here. You don't see this?
40 babies were placed on circumcision boards, and these babies were held upside down while doctors measured how blood flowed to their heads from the CIA.
Babies.
Their ankles of the children, of the babies, were put in cold water, where the doctors would put a catheter that was inserted within the aorta of the child to predetermine blood flow. Who supported this? Not just the CIA, the Democratic Party. The assassination of Stephen Darby. Project MK Naomi.
Y'all still don't see the links? I don't know why the brother is saying there's no links. It's not showing on your phone. That's crazy. It's saying account temporarily unavailable. Account unavailable? What? I literally sent y'all a link from an attachment that I have. Let me see. Literally, that shit is in my Google Drive, but it's literally my account. So the nothing wrong with the account. I can't control it, y'all. I tried to drop it. I'm so sorry. I definitely don't want to read it because it's on a PDF. It's not on the thing where I can let it read. And it's quite a few pages. How many pages? Let me see. I know it's a few pages in this thing. I can't remember. Yeah, 17 pages, y'all. I can't read this today. I may pull it up in the private. I'll try. If somebody remind me in the private to try to pull up the document, it wouldn't let me share. And I'll try and show it in the private. Okay. All right, let's go. I'll try and drop it again to see if I can ease it in there, y'all.
Dr. Loretta Bender created the electroconvulsive therapy program on children, more than 70% being children of color. I'm not making this a color thing. This is what my brother, Dr. Darby, was exposing. So this Nazi doctor, Dr. Loretta Bender, her great-grandfather was a part of Operation Paperclip. She would test children through electroshock therapy to see how the black anatomy of a child would respond.
You hear this? These sick perverts. Why is she so effing concerned, you freak?
Going back to 1947, 198 children had died because they were injected as young as 3 years old with LSD. Military experiments of mustard gas during World War II.
Babies.
Vanderbilt University, even today, as a side note, Anderson Cooper's mother was a Vanderbilt.
You went through?
Did you know Vanderbilt University, as a side note,
try to open it in
they had received millions of dollars to this day from the United States government.
Okay, it looked like a couple of people got it. So try to open it in the, oh my gosh, incognito tab. Put it in the incognito tab and then try and open it. All right. Okay, I was about to drop y'all a different one. This one's intense too. I might have to do a whole private on like a few different papers, but okay, perfect. Okay, y'all got it. Let's go, y'all.
With the permission of the Democratic Party in connection to the CIA for sexual reassignment surgeries on children, Vanderbilt University. Vanderbilt University's vitamin drinks program.
Listen,
vitamin drinks program after World War.
Shout out to my brother, little brother Tony, Tomahawk Tony. This young brother is so on fire. Y'all know we went over. I did a bill with him about 1.5 years ago on Stop the Genocide. And we talked about this. I talk about this with the health too, taking these artificial vitamins. Oh, take this vitamin, this, that, this, and that. Every vitamin you need is in fruits and vegetables and things. You got to just make sure you're getting some pure stuff, right? Herbs, you know, different things you can take to have all the sufficient vitamins for everything that you need, right? Including protein, all these things. When they give you these fake ass vitamins, 9 times out of 10, it's a GMO substance that can harm you. Okay, let's go.
The OSS, which became the Central Intelligence Agency, gave 800, listen, to be soon-to-be mothers a concoction that the pregnant mother was told was a special vitamin drink, when in reality it was a radioactive iron radiation level drink 3 times higher than the normal level of radiation. I'm going to reveal something that will be absolutely mind-blowing. And I want you to hold on to your socks and pull. My question that I want to ask the students of Christ tonight. Can I take my time? I don't want to rush this. Can I take my time? Your microwave was designed by 2 former CIA agents.
Listen to this shit right here. Now, listen, I had to stop it again. How long I've been telling you guys about the radium, and radium. Same component. False light, GMO light. The false ascension, Christ. What they try to tell you is the Christ. What they try to tell you is the Christ. That is also the false ascension of light, fake light, a false entity, an energy that literally encompasses you, like takes over you. I've explained this many times of why you get this feeling when you go into church, so on and so forth. Now listen to what he's going to explain to you guys about everything I've been telling y'all for the past 2 years about this light, because the light is what you are the light. I am the way, the truth, and the light. Who is? Who is? Shit, who is? I am. Let me put this in the chat for y'all so y'all see it. I am the way, the truth, and the light. Who is that talking about? That's talking about you, right? Peace, peace, brother. You are. It says I am. It says I am. I am is you, the individual person. I, the individual. The I, individual. The I am is you. The way. You are the way to the truth and the light. You are the only way. You are the only way to the truth and the light. You, your mind, your capacity to understand, and overstand things, right? Your capacity to have discernment, your capacity to be able to connect to the etheric realm and know what's going on around you at all times, mentally, physically, and spiritually, right? So now when you have that light inside of you that shines outward, you can see everything. You know, you can see everything when the light's shining out, right? When it's coming from inside out. Now, everything around you is encompassed in that light. That's also your shield of protection. That's that energy that you get. That's that plasma light, radiant energy of the crystals that they try to tell you is something different, which is the radium, right? The radium, which he's about to explain all this shit I've been telling y'all about this, right? So now when it comes to this, right? That energy that's inside of you, that you actually are the only one to generate it, right? You're the only one that can actually incapacitate yourself to what's inside of you. So it's incapacitate yourself. So inside, you're capsulizing into yourself these things. So now when you are the one that creates that energy, that plasma light energy, the rushing of that energy, that plasma, which is the light that connects kinetically to you and your ancestors and their ether realm, the etheric realm that is all what? Matter. Because what? You're matter now, right? You're a physical body. Your atomic structure, which is actually a part of this etheric matter, because you are a nine ether being, because you have a mind, body, and soul. But your soul is the actual you. You've forgotten that, but I'm trying to remind y'all. The soul is the actual you. That's the light. That's the energy from within. That's everything that's you. That is what the I am is. I am the way, the truth, and the light. I am the way to the truth and the light. Knowing that you connect to the most highest frequency that there is, the one that's been here for eons, not centuries, but eons, one that never dies, right? The most high. When they try to tell you, oh, the God, talk about God, the dog, the thing that's outside of you, know that is inside of me, because what I'm connected to it, I'm a part of it. It is a part of me, right? It's all the one. I am everything, which is what? All connected. The I is the one in all, the one in all. You hear that all the time. The one in all, that one that's in all of us, who, right? All of us that are kinetically connected to the etheric realm. All of us that have the plasma light, the children of the sun, the literal children of the sun, the burst of the orgone energy, that orgone energy that the sun disperses and gives down to the planet. So now that photonic energy that is consumed by the soil and the earth that you sprung from, right? You are of the soil. You understand this, right? Oh man, I don't want to keep going. This shit gets so deep, y'all. I get so, he finna go so deep to confirm so much. When I watched this video, I couldn't even watch it all, y'all. So we're gonna stop it a little bit after what I watched. I watched about 2.5 hours. This thing 5 hours long. We ain't gonna do all that. We may do a part 2. Maybe I'll do it and he's going over with you guys, right? So when it comes to this is so pertinent in understanding this, y'all, for real, for real. All right, I don't want to keep going, but let's go.
Dr. Percy Spencer and Dr. Robert N. Hall. So what the government did, they said, well, how do we depopulate America in the world? Let's design through our biological agents these engineers, these chemists, Dr. Spencer, Percy Spencer, please look it up, and Dr. Robert N. Hall, who later both worked for the Raytheon Corporation, one of the biggest defense contracting companies on this earth. They designed the microwave.
Listen.
Going back as early as 1947.
Didn't I tell y'all that shit was designed to kill y'all? I'm so sorry. I got to tell y'all again, right? It's designed to kill you. It was actually designed. I showed you guys in the Incubator Baby series, right? In the information we went over, we showed you the scientists, these same scientists he's talking about. They were working on the project, right? They used the grasshoppers. This is how they started experimenting with it. They were using the grasshoppers at first, right? And then they did the locusts. And then they were able to see how they were able to do the cloning in the incubator babies, right? Using the nitrogen, using the nitrogen and the radium, using the nitrogen and the radium, the combination of this chemical in the test tube to create this false light to be a part of their freaking army. Then y'all just hear them talking about in Nevada, they were doing over 800 of the nitrogen bombs. Why were they using nitrogen bombs? And creation of what? A new entity, more creation, cloning. Something was going on over there. It was an Army Air Force base. This is where they do things because it's all undercover and it's surveillance. You can't even go in the areas of these places. You understand? I don't want to keep talking on that, but yeah, let's go.
In order to transfer the American population a chemical compound called the Havana syndrome. I want you to hear me tonight.
We hear
and it's going to be people, I don't believe it. Get out of here because this class is not for you. The microwave weapon called the Havana syndrome, that through the warming of your food in coffee and tea, radiation then is injected in your food and thereby injected inside of you, which causes
disease,
a transformation of what they call human behavior. The Hanover.
Didn't I tell y'all that these chemicals, these nanoparticles, these Morgellons, all these things they put in your food, all the GMO components, just like it made all those children sick, had them having seizures and everything. These things are meant to condemn you. You have to stay away from this. Is so important, guys, and what he's saying here in the healthiness that you have for you and your family, keeping longevity in life, being more sustainable by eliminating these things from yourself. I bet you since I've talked about these microwaves, and I talked about it many a times, I bet a bunch of y'all still got them in y'all house. I bet y'all got it in y'all house. I haven't used a microwave in like 15, 16, maybe close to 20 years now. Like literally, I have not used the microwave. No, I'm lying. Oh, let me not say that. I have used it to warm up water, which I know I shouldn't do, but if I'm in a rush, sometimes trying to make my tea or something, I know it's not good, but I have done it. But I'm talking about my food stuff. Like I don't even play like that. I literally threw it out. A couple of places I went to, they had the microwave built in. Since I've been to Texas, it's built in the structure here, whatever. But literally at my home, I didn't even have a microwave. We used a toaster oven. I would buy a toaster oven. If it went out, I'd buy a new one, and they work better. Your food's better, tastes better, everything. This radium was built for these people. They were literally deteriorating because they were incubated beings and they needed the radium to fill them with false light. They had to absorb the false light in order for them to survive. I showed you guys how their whole face, everything was deteriorating, and they started using the radium, and it made them healthier. This is why a lot of women, they had to have fertility clinics because these women don't have organic wombs. And they wonder, a lot of them don't even know that they incubator babies. They wonder, walking around here like they really think that they something that was created naturally. Humans, animals, they're humans. They keep saying we're human. Yes, you're human. A hue of man. A hue what? A hue of man, not man's hue, but a hue of man. a human, which is a false light, a light of man, not the same light as man, not the natural, not the organic, something that's totally separate. So these people had to have this to help consume their body with the false light, the radium, because they were incubated beings. They had radium suppositories, radium cigarettes, radium food. This is why they created the radium microwave, but back then it wasn't an actual microwave like y'all have. It was a radium like some type of little something like a toaster oven. You know, I showed you guys the pictures of it. I showed you guys the pictures of it, right? So go back and look at that build. But either way, when you see that, you can understand what the need or the necessity is for the radium trying to create or keep these beings going, these pathogens, these genomes, right? I'm sorry, y'all. Let's go.
Or the Havana syndrome. Let me take my time. The Havana syndrome was the creation of the Central Intelligence Agency through Nazi technology after World War II. So Dr. Spencer and Dr. Hall, who worked for Allen Dulles of the CIA during the Cold War, designed the microwave in order for certain groups to contract cancer. I want you to follow me closely here.
Follow closely, y'all. Confirmation of what y'all been
during the 1950s.
Tell it.
The same two men who created the microwave, Dr. Percy Spencer and Dr. Robert N. Hall, who later worked for Raytheon, both of these men helped create a project called the Voice of God weapon. Do you remember the bishop teaching that? The Voice of God project, where voices within an individual's mind makes them think that God is speaking to them.
Oh my God.
In reality,
y'all hear it?
It is a biological agent through microwaves, through television. To the average mind, they think.
Just to clarify, Israel, not the Cabbage Patch. The Cabbage Patch video I did, that was literally like the fourth video, bro. I ain't gonna even lie. I did so many videos on this last year. There's one that I just reposted on my community tab. You guys need to look at it. It's called Another Melanated Nation Divided. I have all that information in there. Let's go to that one. And there's another one I did on incubator babies. I think I put the information in there as well. As far as that, I talked about a lot of stuff, but there's so much with that. Like the first couple of ones I didn't even talk about the Cabbage Patch. Then I just talked about the Cabbage Patch more recently with the incubators. That was the third one or the fourth one. So yeah, but make sure you understand, brother, the Cabbage Patch one, if you saw that, that's not the one. Go back on my community page. I just posted it. It's called Another Melanated Nation Divided, and it is unlocked. It's not members only. So anyone can view it. You can show it to people. It has so much more information as well other than that in it. So yeah, let's go.
This is crazy. But it was targeted to the Black church. And especially during the Civil Rights Movement, it's called the Havana Syndrome. And the nickname for the Havana Syndrome, Pastor Noah, is called the Immaculate Concussion. Wait a minute now.
Listen.
Now, it's one thing for football players to experience concussion because of them being hit. But the agency has designed, Pastor Sam, a biological weapon where the individual can experience a concussion, not just through microwaves, but through airborne pathogens, through the creation of an airborne chemical called the Havana Syndrome.
I'm sorry, guys. Now, how many times have I told you guys, by you sitting and taking in information that does not help you in any way to be beneficial to extending your light or making it brighter or creating better density within yourself with the proper balance, right? sitting, listening to people arguing, talking about shit that's irrelevant, things that are not beneficial to you and your family in this lifetime, that won't help you advance any damn where. They're just chit-chattering. They're just entertaining. They're just, keeping your time with a little bit of truth. But here, I got to put some entertainment in it. When you're dealing with this shit, you're inviting this into your life. You can't get upset if you don't advance. You can't get upset if you're not growing spiritually and mentally and being able to encompass all of the things that have, man, this should just be so crazy to me. I dedicate so much of this. I've been doing this for so long, and like so many people get it and so many don't. It just makes me so sad a lot of times. But listen to what he's saying, right? This is the description of what I tell you guys all the time. When you're taking this information in, you're in that maze. Your study running into the wall. It's just like getting a concussion, like you banging your head against the damn wall. You're running into the wall because why? You're not going to the correct exit. You're not reaching the door to open it. You're not even putting the effort for it a lot of times. You're letting people continue to put shit in your head that doesn't matter, that's irrelevant to your life or anything that's going to advance you. So as long as you're doing that, you are causing the concussion. Because with a concussion, you can't even think clearly, When I heard him saying this is all I thought about. I'm like, man, our people do this every day, badgering each other, downgrading, people, being so absurd in their life that they don't even understand. The people that can sit up and talk about like raping children and, harming children, men that take young women on as wives and all this weird stuff that's going on that does not benefit, the person. Mentally, you're stagnated, listening to these type of people. So let's go, y'all.
So the Voice of God Project targeted the Black church. Can I teach?
Yes, you can.
The assassination of Pastor Stephen Darby. Project MK Naomi. Let's continue to lay foundation. Please stay there in Ephesians 6 intro. Yeah. Now, allow me to ask you a question. Is your mind blown tonight?
Is your mind blown?
I said, is your mind blown
I know
tonight?
it is.
Now, put up those faces if your minds are blown. No, I don't need to see that because there's no insecurity in the bishop, but it's letting me know I'm doing my job.
That's right. Going to school. It's a concussion. You never can really get it out your head.
There is a section of America called Fort Detrick. There is a project with the conjunction between the CIA, the NSA, the Department of Defense, along with Fort Detrick in Maryland. It's called the XADS Project. Capital XADS, which stands for Extreme Alternative Defense Systems Command. Extreme with an X, Alternative Defense Systems Command. A man by the name of Dr. Peter Bittar, an Indian scholar, along with Dr. Edward Fry and Dr. George Gibbs of the Marine Corps Systems Command, where the Pentagon gave an organization $500,000 going back to as early as 1960, which is the High Secret Society for Scientists.
Mind you, just so you guys, if you didn't know, this was just a few years after the Corona Project, when the Germans and Eastman Kodak Company and Procter & Gamble and the government set up the first satellite program, right? When the Corona Project was first launched. This is about 6 years after that. Let's go.
Whose lineage can be traced back to the Third Reich.
Uh-oh.
Well, Bishop, what is the name of this organization?
Uh-oh. He finna talk about the
It's
Jason
called the Jason Group.
Oh, yeah.
Can I take my time? Wait a minute now. Capital
I might have to go over this
JASON. Now put a
in the
paper
private
clip
group.
there.
I might have
I'll
to.
come back to
He just
them
confirmed so
later
much
during
shit.
the teaching because the
Man,
Holy
he on
Spirit said,
fire.
Bishop, don't get ahead of
Come
me.
on, Bishop.
Percy Spencer, along with Dr. Robert N. Hall, who created the microwave originally during the Cold War to transfer cancer cells upon food and drinks during the Cold War.
Mm-hmm.
Percy Spencer and Robert N. Hall worked for the Raytheon Technologies Corporation, whose specialization is in aerospace and defense domination.
Domination of the
Located in Arlington, Virginia.
Right in Virginia.
Michael P. Morgan, a former CIA executive and master spy, directs the multi-international strategy for intelligence and information systems for the Raytheon Corporation. One of the founders of the Raytheon Corporation was a man by the name of Vannevar Bush. Capital Vannevar, whose bloodline goes back to Scotland, to the Talisman family. And the term talisman means a witch or a warlock.
No, he about to get
Vannevar Bush.
Oh, you thieving ass.
Along with Dr. Charles G. Smith and Dr. Lawrence K. Marshall, whose bloodline goes back to the Third Reich and through Operation Paperclip. But Vannevar Bush, his real name was not Bush, but Talismans. And the Talismans migrated from Scotland in the 1800s to the Prussian Empire, which is now called Germany. And prior to World War I, the Talismans changed their name to the Scher family. And prior to World War II, the Scher family changed their name to Bush. So the Bush dynasty are nothing but Nazi dogs. That's all they are. So Vannevar Bush, along with Charles Smith and Lawrence Marshall, Dr. Vannevar Bush created the Raytheon Corporation.
Listen.
And who was also a major proponent of chemical eugenics through CRISPR-Cas9 engineering.
Okay.
The Raytheon Corporation did not start building missiles and chemical weapons of mass destruction. They specialize in gene editing and gene modification. This is what Pastor Stephen Garvey was exposing. Dr. William Bush, the great grandfather of Vannevar Bush, Talisman Scherf Bush. So Vannevar Bush created the Raytheon Corporation. Wait a minute now. But Bishop, what is the origin of the term Raytheon? Let me get a drink of water here. Listen. Oh
my gosh.
The term Raytheon, and this is what Dr. Darby was exposing. The term Raytheon comes out of Greek antiquity and Greek mythology back to the serpent and back to not just the garden in Genesis 3, but to the fallen angels in Genesis 6.
Uh-oh.
Raytheon was one of the main angels, according to the Maccabees, who rebelled against Christ.
Listen.
In Revelation 12:4, a third part, speak to me, Holy Spirit.
Rebelled against who? Listen. Rebelled against Christ. Oh, the Satan that rebelled against Christ. Who is the Christ? What was I just talking to you guys about? That plasma light, right? Which is the real organic light versus this fake radium, demonic spirit. The Christos is different, right? Are y'all listening to the pastor? He gonna confirm everything I keep telling you. I'm telling you, your sister be trying to put you on. I love y'all, and I ain't gonna tell y'all nothing different. I wouldn't put all my time in like this. Y'all don't pay me. Nobody really does anything to help me keep doing this other than me wanting you guys to get this information. Truly, other than people that take courses and classes that want to donate from my time to teach them more edified information. Like nobody don't really, y'all know. Let me look at the Cash App. I'm saying that, and it's been times I looked and seen one, but I'm gonna look in a second. But I barely get Cash Apps because I don't thirst you guys for it. Right? It's not that serious. But at the same time, look at this information, and then now you're getting a confirmation. When I say confirmation is more valuable than any piece of gold, you hear me? He about to get into everything I told y'all about before about the Garden of Eden, about how in Eden, Eve, when she was smitten, it says your child is smitten. It talks about it in something that shows how she had twins. That when those two sons, one was light, one was dark. One was the true light, and one was dark. People thinking light skin, dark skin. No, they talking about the evil and the good. One was from the Nephilim, and one was from the energy spirit, right? That was injected into her. So, to actually have her start the creation of races. So now there's two races created, so on and so forth. We ain't gonna get to that. That's why in the Genesis, it talks about the new earth. It lets you know that there was an earth before that, because before that earth, there wasn't like man and woman. Because see, man and woman is of matter. That's why they rose from the dirt, becoming of the soil, putting together with the all of the things that you have inside of you, including this blood. He gonna get into this blood. This shit gonna get deeper. But including this blood that takes everything to create the person or the persona. A persona is what? Like an avatar, which is what? Like that shield I told y'all have. Your body is like your shield of protection. That is just a suit that you're putting on, and you're wearing it while you're in this realm, right? And in true actuality, the light in you is the actual you. This gonna get deep. Y'all make sure y'all paying attention. I'm gonna be stopping shortly, but let's go.
A third part of the angels of God, the angelic government.
This is not religion.
Rebelled against the throne of God. Now, when I say throne, I'm not talking about God as some old man sitting on a chair. That's not throne. The term throne of Christ simply means how Christ is thinking.
I'm going to break it down.
The throne of his thinking, the throne of his intelligence. So throne, students, is not a chair, but throne is apostolic thinking.
Your mind.
So in Revelation 12:4, now you've been taught that the term third part means 33% or 333%. That's true if you're teaching from a Gentile Western mathematical persuasion. But when you are dissecting God's word, you cannot dissect God through your Western theological education.
Right.
You can only dissect the word through a rabbinical Hebraic interpretation. So the term third part doesn't mean 333%. What does it mean, Pastor Sam? It means 666% rabbinically. So 666% of the angelic paradigm government were infected by the tail of Lucifer. or 500 million angels. Thank you, Pastor Corey.
Listen.
So rabbinically, students, 666% from a rabbinical interpretation in Revelation 12:4 doesn't mean 333%. Rabbinically, it means 666% or 500 million angels. That's right, Pastor Corey and Pastor Sam, were in cahoots with the devil, Lucifer, who later became Satan, and the devil. There's your LSD. Now, as a side point, in Ezekiel 28:13, out of the 9 stones on the breastplate of Tyrus, in the term Tyrus, when properly interpreted in Persian,
I appreciate you.
Ty means to be attached, okay? Rus comes from the Persian demon god Lenol, Lenol. This is where you get the pharmaceutical or the pharmakia term, Tylenol, or attached to Lenol. Well, listen, the Syrophoenician woman came to Christ in the Gospels, including the Canaanite woman, and said, "My daughter is grievously vexed," not possessed, vexed with a devil. Now, rabbinically, though we're in the Greek New Testament there,
that's right.
But if you connect the word or the letter A to the word devil, it becomes a Cyprian term, Advil.
Oh, listen.
Wait a minute now.
Listen.
So Advil is from the pharmaceutical industrial complex.
What I told y'all about
Pharmakia, pharmaceutical.
Y'all, I'm sorry, I got to say this. I'm just so sorry because when I told y'all he was just hitting on so much shit, confirming so much to me. When I know my ancestors in my mind, in my studies, in my research, and everything that I dedicate my time to be showing me, and I be trying to teach y'all this stuff. And this man hit on so much stuff. It's crazy. Just in this one video. Do y'all hear this? What this man's saying? Oh my God.
Witchcraft. This is what Dr. Darby has been teaching.
The pharmakia and Pastor Darby, like I did the dedication to him. I wish y'all go back and watch it. Fire, nothing but fire. I love the Pastor Darby. I wasn't even in church when I started watching Pastor Darby, literally. And when I tell y'all, everything is so confirmed. The witchcraft, I keep telling y'all, the spellbinding, the religion and the spellbinding, the twisting of the word, because you don't understand the spellbinding and the laws, right? When you're reading the Bible, you think it's when you start getting woke, you're like, oh, this is, oh yeah, they rewrote this. Look, it's following their timeline. They wrote this to fit what they said. Listen, hell to the no. Yes, a lot of that is pre-warranted. But a lot of it has to do with sorcery, so on and so forth. All these witches, witchcraft, all this going back to you not even being a physically matter person. You don't even matter. You don't matter. I'm going to tell you now, you don't matter. The matter is not shit to you. Your physical frame, the physical body, the physical of everything in this 3D matrix that you're trapped in, that he was just talking about the light. Like I told y'all, we talked about this about a month ago, right? I told you guys about that false light. Being led to the fake ass light, that moon energy, that dead ass moon energy, that negative, nasty ass shit that waits in the room, that keep playing with the waters of your womb. I done told you, y'all, let me just let the pastor talk, but I just want y'all to see this. Confirmation is so true, and it lets you know this is light. Confirmation is light. Information is light. When you have confirmation, you know that it's truth, right? It's magnetism, the electromagnetism of the energy that you're connected to. That 9 ether energy, that when you start getting and retrieving the light inside of you, it ignites those kinetic cells. Binary coding and frequency is opened up. And now you are kinetically connected to the cells within you that are of your ancestors. Now the remembrance of things start to come back. Now you can time travel to have and obtain certain information even when you're sleeping, right? Literally leaving this fake ass damn shit and going and doing what you're supposed to do when you get to a certain place. But let's go.
For years. So my daughter is grievously vexed with a devil or with Advil. I gotta be careful. I don't want us to receive a strike, but 95% of the names of your medication, don't take us down YouTube. I'm not talking about the C word or the V word. 95% of the medications throughout the world, its names are attached to demons. Whether it's Greek mythology, Roman mythology, Persian mythology, Babylonian mythology, Chaldean mythology, 95% of the names. Now, I'm not telling you don't take medication, so don't take us down. What I'm saying that 95% of the names of medications are connected to names of fallen angels. You see. So notice my doctor is grievously vexed with a devil or with Advil, Advil or a devil. So we're almost done here before we get to the text of Ephesians.
Before he hit that, I'm sorry. With that, right? Even what he's saying, think about this, right? When you're taking like Advil, Tylenol, it's not doing anything for you. If you're not aware of the pain, if you get something, your arms start hurting, your head start hurting, your neck, your back, whatever, right? You know, oh, there's something wrong with my back. There's something wrong with my arm. You can direct the pain and know where the pain is coming from. You can know what's associated with certain things, depending on what the pain feels like, so on and so forth, right? So you might know, oh, it's the muscle. The muscle is tense. Oh, the muscle is tight. I overworked it. Oh, I strained my muscle. So now you pulled a ligament inside of that muscle. So now you have a horrible pain. All it needs to do is rest and heal. So now what you do is make yourself a little spring, put some cold compresses on it. If you were associated with me, you have some pain oil. You put your pain oil on it, the shit be gone. You feel me? I ain't gonna even lie, y'all. That pain oil is everything. You use these things to alleviate the pain. Now, if you're using something like Advil, Tylenol, these types of things, you know what that's doing? All it is doing is numbing the sensation of pain in your mind. It's just telling you, okay, you don't feel the pain. The pain's still there. So you're doing nothing to heal it. You're not helping it. You're not healing it. You're not doing anything for it. You're using a chemical to alter what's going on instead of you healing it and seeing what's going on. Where if you had that headache, you're like, oh, shoot, what's going on? Oh, maybe I've been eating too much salt. My blood pressure might be a little high. Let me check my blood pressure. I'm going to run by this little pharmacy and check it real quick. Oh shit, my pressure high. Oh man, let me stop. I need to make sure that I'm, being very good. Maybe I'll drink me some little hibiscus tea, get me some decaffeinated tea so that if I want something warm to drink, I can bring my system down. I'm not gonna consume a lot of things today. I'll eat some fruits and some vegetables. Now, boom, my headache's gone. Because what? You alleviated your body and you brought a balance to it because now you're aware that the headache was from the high pressure. Oh yeah, you're thinking now, oh, yesterday I ate this, I ate that, it had this in it. Damn, I ate out. You eat out, they put a ton of salt. You know what I'm saying? You can't even use your brain when you're, using something else as a dependency. Tylenol, Advil, those things are just like any other dependent. Trust and believe it. In their pharma. And he's explaining that right now. Check it out.
6 and 12 and Revelation 2 and 24. The assassination of Pastor Stephen Darby, Project MK Naomi. So Raytheon is one of the Greek gods in Greek mythology, meaning counterfeit light from the gods, small G-O-D-S, gods or demons.
Oh my God.
And this is the reason why I constantly harp to you.
Great.
When you are speaking about the true God of Abraham, don't type or write the name God in small letters. If you do, I won't respond because when you write or type God in small letters, you're not referring to the God of heaven. You're referring to a demon. And so this is something, these are habits that you brought in from your churches and from your education that must be broken. When speaking about the God of heaven, is capital G, capital O, capital D. So getting back to Raytheon, Raytheon was one of the fallen angels whose surname, listen, was the counterfeit name of Raphael. Wait a minute, Raphael was a good angel, Bishop, But Raphael was one of the ones who rebelled against Christ. And that's why Christ said, I beheld, or I saw, SAW. Now, when you say saw, Christ is not talking about this visualization. When Christ said, I beheld Satan as lightning fall, I saw, the term saw means to cut in two. It means to decapitate. Oh, there's an apostolic anointing. So I saw, I decapitated Satan as lightning fall from heaven. Here comes these demons, catch them. So the term Raytheon also means the act of deliberately trying to infect another person against their will with HIV. Now, you'll find this in the
Now,
Urban
check this out in what he said, right? And when he said that, right, thinking about you and you being the light, right, and something coming to attack you, you being the sun, part of the sun, the true energy, the organic light, the energy, the plasma light energy that you are. And what he just said, right, what that says to me is that it's saying to cut. It cut the ties, like just like now, the sun is what? Any pathogens, y'all get up under that sun, what's gonna happen? It's gonna start burning your ass. It's gonna get rid of you. It's gonna start cutting your ass in two. Think it's a game. Do y'all hear these words? Y'all still think this is different? It's talking about literally cutting off the head or decapitating. As they seen the light falling from heaven, the false light. It's not the true light, it's the false light. When you meditate, you're gonna be able to see that light. You know what's true and what's not. You'll be able to pull and grasp the energy, the true light, into your mind to actually help it grow, to create better or proper energy, or the balance of density that you need to actually elevate yourself, right? To uplift means to be lighter, right? As well. So when we're thinking about these things, to cut him in two and decapitating him, that's what? The removal, the moving of pathogens, the removal, the moving of genomes, right? The removal of what is not pure. If it's not pure and part of the sun's energy and the true light, it is a false light. So the true Christ, the light in us, can now cut that, sever that head and cut it off where it's at. That's a damn lie. You coming with me, you come to me with lies. See, now when you're coming to me with these lies, I can decipher them because see, I got the real light. I'm gonna cut that shit off at the head. That's why when somebody comes to me, sometimes I get a little sensitive and I get a little overwhelmed. But when somebody come at me, I don't got time to play. I don't fucking play with people. I'm gonna just say that. I'm not a kid. I've not been a kid since I was like 7 years old. That's the real talk. I've been grown and forced into an adulthood since I was like 7 years old. Like just mentally. And that's some real shit. Then when I had my incident at 10 years old, that elevated it even more. Like literally, I don't have time to play with people. I don't play. You know, my kids think I'm very hard because I don't really play. You know what I'm saying? I'm very stern. I'm very loving. I have fun with my kids. Laugh, joke. We can have fun, talk shit, you know, all that. You know, don't get it twisted. But at the same time, when it comes to the real, I'm very serious and very stern. I never had problems with my kids. People, you know, running around my son, I did when I broke up with the dad, then, that was an issue. But other than that, I didn't have problems with my children. They listen. I say, hey, do this, do that. They did it. Once in a while, I might have to remind them. I was very stern with them. I wasn't mean. They love me to death. Still do. All of them. But I was very stern. You have to be very stern in your mind and in this, right? And you cannot play. You can't allow people to come into your mind or into your space with disrespect, casting you, your mind, your spirit, anything about you. You can't allow that with people. You have to cut that shit off at the head, you don't have to be as stern as I am, but you do have to like cut that shit off the head. I ain't gonna play games with you. See, now you playing. I done gave you a leeway. I done gave you a rope and shit. Now took it, put it around your neck. I still loosen a little more just so it ain't get tight, and you still tighten that shit. Keep on moving in. Yeah, let's go.
Dictionary. The term Raytheon, the name of a demon whose real name was Raphael, but rebelled against God, and change his name from Raphael to Raytheon. It means the act of deliberately trying to infect another against their will with HIV. Don't take us down, YouTube. So the fallen angels had contracted extracted
Listen.
HIV and transferred it to the daughters of men. Now, the term daughters of men, rabbinically, it means women of color.
Listen.
Now, follow me here. Now, I'm not talking black and white. It means, in its original rabbinical state, women of color. So the fallen angels in Genesis 6, Enoch 6, Jude 6, 666, the fallen angels created 23andMe before there was a 23andMe.
Listen.
Okay? They created 23andMe because the fallen angels were looking for a particular DNA.
Oh.
They were looking for a particular RNA. Now, allow me.
Didn't I tell y'all last year? I'm sorry. Didn't I tell y'all last year that there was a definite stamina against the people of Chicago? Chicago has some very strong, prominent genes. That's why there's such a horrible thing when it comes to the gang violence, such and such and so on forth. When it comes to Chicago, particularly, it's all over the place now. Don't get it twisted. But when it comes to Chicago, it's very, very profound with a lot of different things. It's a more attacked city in so many things. It has the most fluoride in the waters in Illinois than anywhere else. Literally, Chicago is really a gateway. There's so many portals there. Oh my gosh, I can't even start to tell you. There's so many portals in Chicago. To just name one thing. So, in a sense of that, keeping in mind, man, let me just go because I'm gonna keep talking.
Allow the bishop to quote for you a segment from one of my books called Comprehending the State of the Human Condition, Volume 2. Now, it says here, as we're talking about laying foundation of MK Naomi, on page 52, it talks about 20 of the fallen angels of the 200. 20 is a Genesis 6 and Jude 6, 6, 6, 6. These names of the 20 angels, word called Raytheons. Raytheons are high-level demons, okay? Raytheon is high-level demons of counterfeit light.
Oh my gosh. When I tell y'all, do y'all hear this? Of what? Counterfeit light. The same as what I keep telling y'all, GMO light. When y'all hear me say the GMO light, fake light, false light, counterfeit light, same damn difference, right? What do I keep trying to show you guys? Literally, I really want y'all to see how important and pertinent this is. Like literally somebody tagged me. They had my video, they shared my video, and they shared this video, and I think it was another video in there, and they mentioned me in the video and was telling me, you know, how profound they appreciated my video, and they wanted me to see this video. So I'm like, okay, let me check it out. I'm like, oh shit, Pastor Darby, Chief Darby, I call him Chief Darby, but just so people know, Pastor Darby, Pastor Stephen Darby, at that, much respect. You know, and it's crazy to me how the confirmation just has been falling from everywhere. It falls in my lap, y'all. I don't even got to do nothing. Stuff just be falling in my lap. I tell y'all, the ancestors be right there. See, when you remember I told y'all about light. When you have light, right, the energy of the vision is so clear. You're going to have a pathway. As long as you have light, you know the pathway. You see the path, right? You see the light. You know, everyone else is drawn to the light, right? They can feel my energy. You know, whether it's hate or love, it's an energy or a disdain that they cannot take, or they either want to accept it and be a part of it. I've been experiencing that my whole life, like literally. I don't mind giving, you know, I give you. I give you a couple of times, you feel me? I'll let you take a rope, hang yourself. I'll let you, what people say, play yourself, you know, do shit that just, you know, show your hands, show your face, you know, stuff like that, and keep it moving. But what we have to do is know that the light is what guides us. And if you're connected to the light, it's going to grow and it's going to be bigger. You're going to have the pathways to show you things. Things are going to be right there laid. You can walk. Oh shit, there's $100 bill laying right there. I mean, like shit like that. I don't walk out of a mall walking to my vehicle, literally $100 laying right there. Like, how many people don't walk past this $100 and they pick it up? It was left for me. Thank you. I could use this. Picked it right up. I was at a damn Chuck E. Cheese, found $300. A wallet somebody had left. It had mad stuff, their cards, everything in it. They said that the person didn't come back for it or whatever. So I had that. It was like I don't even remember how much. It was some hundreds in that one. It was like $600-$700. They had their cards in there. They had like some lottery tickets in there. They ID. They probably had stopped, let the kids chill at a Chuck E. Cheese, and then kept on their road somewhere. And they didn't know where they dropped the shit at. Didn't know where to call. Probably didn't notice it till the next day or something. You know, crazy. So just keep that in mind. When you do what you're supposed to do and you're handling yourself in the proper manner, handling other people, you have to handle people correctly, right? And when they're not handling you correctly, then they'll get handled. You ain't got to worry about it. This shit will, Leo, I could tell y'all some stories of people that came back like, oh, you know, oh, I love you. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, you must have learned something, huh? Oh, you must have seen something, huh? Now you need to come back to me to get more help to elevate you to get to that other place because now you need my light again. You know, that happens. I don't mind. I'll still get the shit. You know, I'm good. I'm full of the shit. I got it like that. Let's go.
Nephilims. Then they also became what? The Gregories. The Gregories gave to mankind the Gregorian calendar of January to December and back to January, okay? They gave the Gregorian calendar. And the Gregories also became the Watchers. Not just Raphael fell, but one of the chief demons, who was once an archangel by the name of Samyaza or Samyaza, Samyaza, was also a Raytheon fallen being. Oh my Lord, listen, this is heavy here tonight. A Raytheon fallen being. This is why these devils called this corporation the Raytheon Corporation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
the Nephilim connection.
Go back to Black
Raytheon.
We ain't gonna get into that though.
So when the daughters of men were violated, they were Raytheon. Okay? Am I coming in clear, Pastor Sam and Pastor Emma? Let me know.
Am I coming in? And how many times I told you about the black seed? I said, yeah, I said the black seed is the false light. Who remembers this? I've talked about it not a lot, but at least 3 or 4 times. The false seed, their black seed that they came and spread on the soil. I told y'all that they came and spread the black seed into the soil of the indigenous womb of the woman, taking over the seed, the seeding, planting the seed of false light into the womb of the woman. Who's heard me talk about that? I'm gonna give y'all a second to think. I know it's been a minute. I know I haven't talked about it recently, but somebody tell me if y'all remember this. I just gotta know that y'all be on page with me and y'all following me and y'all don't be missing a step, like for real, for real. I just want to know. If it ain't no problem if y'all don't know, but I just want to know if there's people that's really following me and they be on this shit and know exactly what's going on because they remember when I talked about this, I showed that, blah, blah, blah. Just tell me if any of y'all can recall me telling y'all about the black seed hitting that womb and always infiltrating for our women, right? Nobody remember. See, I know it was a few of y'all that wasn't following. It's all right though. Y'all gonna catch up.
You see, the devil wants me to shut this down. I'm not going to do that. Let me know, Pastor Sam, if we are clear.
Okay, I'm delayed. I see one of my brothers.
So when these women were raped, going back, take your time, Bishop.
Take your time, Bishop. Take your time.
In Genesis 3 and 6, the serpent Raytheon the woman.
Real quick, shout out to Shayla. Thank you so much for the Cash App. Also to my sister, Lady. I think this is Lady sent a Cash App. My phone is about to die, y'all. Yes, Lady. Peace and bliss, sis. I appreciate you for your support, darling. You know, being in tune with a little energy and currency. You know, I give my currency to you guys all day long for free. So when you guys can offer a little current back to me in way of fiat, it is definitely appreciated and definitely put to good use. So let's go.
Allow me to explain that. There's a term called heteropaternal superfecundation. Thank you, Pastor Queen Thomas. Heteropaternal superfecundation.
Okay,
thank you, Pastor Monique. Paternal superfecundation. It means that the woman named Eve had fraternal twins.
What I said.
Now, why do I call Cain and Abel fraternal twins? Because one of the twins belonged.
I'm sorry, last time before we get out of here, I'm going to try to make it my last time stopping it. Now, y'all remember I did a build with you guys showing y'all the, oh my gosh, what are they called? Albinos, okay? Remember we did the build, guys, and I was showing y'all the albinos, and I told you the albinos are a prototype. The prototype for most of these created beings, right? Being that even their organs are very, very expensive. They have a higher price than normal organs because of the diversity of the gene or the genomic structure of albinos. You will only find albinos in Africa. If you find them here, they probably are from Africa or have family from Africa, or they traveled here. You know, they're either a Black native or something of the sort. Now, we read in the encyclopedia on the information, it told us that a lot of those Black natives were pale with blonde hair and light colored eyes. Those are albinos, right? So when those albinos are coming in here, being that they are the Black natives, you know, mixing and blending, and you can think back then, you know, their hair was probably real slick. You know, they may not have had as kinky of a hair, you know, because our hair wasn't as kinky because it wasn't as dry. The water was different, so on and so forth. So now these albinos being the prototype of a race that could be used and the genes and things, so on and so forth. You're thinking about the Adam and Eve story, right? And you hear the twins that she had. One that was of the dark seed, the black seed, right? Which is the radium or Rathian seed, the seed of Rathium, false light, false energy, right? And then the seed of the natural, right? So now when she had these two children, here we have this what people will be talking about, oh, the Edomites, da. This is that prototypical radium being that was her fraternal twin's other twin, and then there was the regular one, right? Is that making sense to you guys? I hope so. I don't want to keep talking and hold y'all up. I'm trying to make it as quick as possible by saying short shit. So let's go. Because this video, like I told y'all, I done stopped literally and talked a lot, but we only got through 1 hour and 35 minutes of this video. This is a 5-hour video, y'all. We definitely gonna do a part 2, and I probably will do the third part of this in the private group. No, I'll probably do the second part. Yeah, I'll do the third part in the private group because today is Thursday. I'm telling y'all, this week flew by. So yeah, let's go. Send a link, private group. If you want to be a part of that, make sure you understand that this is a private group, totally private group. And it will be exclusive to certain members. We are going to be filling up everybody by the end of this month. Each week we'll have a private group in session. Everybody that I find, you know, on the same frequency and everything is going great. You'll be a part of the book club and the study group that we will be starting in November. So yeah, let's go from there.
To the serpent, fraternal. This is where we get the term fraternity, boule. So one of the twins, Cain, belonged to the serpent. The other twin, Abel, belonged to Adam. Now, when the serpent, and this is what Pastor Darby taught, I'm building foundation.
The fraternal twins.
The serpent had the ability, Pastor Craig, to change genders.
Mm-hmm. Listen, the
serpent approached the woman as a male.
Mm-hmm. And approach Adam,
but also approach her husband as a female.
Listen, think it's a game. Listen,
we call this a chameleon.
Oh, I'm sorry, I gotta say it one more time because the shit, it ain't funny, but the shit be so crazy to me how confirmations become to me, even if it's years later. I be knowing some shit and I'll tell y'all because of other stuff I know. But like as far as like showing the actual information, he's tying it down to all these other things that his point of directive is, right? And also confirming the things that I said. I told you guys that they had a threesome. Now he's saying that it being in the form of the Baphomet, and it was able to transmutate or transfer its light gender to male or female, right? So now in the same sense, when we're thinking about the story I told you guys, everything that the pastor said, that was pretty much my story, right? Except I thought that they had a threesome. I said, oh, they had a threesome. I said, I think they had a threesome. I think Adam, he was mad at her or whatever, but she came, oh, come on, babe, let's do this. He fell for it. Boom. That's what I think happened. I think it was a threesome, but that's my story, as you guys know. So let's continue on. But everything the pastor's saying is on point, and I can go with what he's saying. Baphomet changes shape shifting. This is shape shifting in the form of light, being able to shape shift. So changing from a female form to a male form. So in doing so, that's very possible. Slept with her, then went and slept with him separately. Very possible. So either or, same story. Let's go.
I'm going to share something that many of you new students have never heard before. This is not your natural body. I'm coming to Dr. Stephen.
Come on.
This is unnatural.
Here we go. We get into my best part.
Before your fallen state, men, you did not have that object.
This, I'm so sorry. I got like 600 videos. Sis, I ain't gonna even lie, man. I be wanting to. I tried. Okay, start here, Empress Virgo. Right. I just want to say this, babe, since you put that in there. If anyone else is new here, just to get on some of the information, depending on what type of information, because I talked about so many things. I talk about health and a lot of stuff. I talk about your spiritual awareness in the mind, body, and soul, the connectivity, the nativity of life that you have to be able to complete this cycle. You have to have a balance with the mind, body, and soul, knowing what's the higher power, being in the I am, so on and so forth, being the the ruler, and to be able to bring these things to the efficiency in your mind, so that you actually know who's in control and how to control things. Now, if you go to my community tab, sis, you'll be able to see videos that I'll here and there. I'll post like older videos. I'm like, oh, somebody new came in. They might want to check this one out because this was a good one. Literally all of them be good, sis. I ain't gonna even lie, shit. I'm not gonna waste y'all time with nothing but some good information. But certain videos on my community tab is on there, and you can watch those videos. And once you, those are certain ones that are pertaining to a lot of different information, or something that I think is very pertinent or important to mind, body, and soul, bringing a balance to things, which I think is so, so important. Okay. So, yeah, let's go there. I don't want to talk too much, but let's go.
That's between your legs today. I want you to follow me here.
Let me take that back in case y'all didn't hear it. I hope
before Adam's fall, that many of you new students have never heard before. This is not your natural body.
Not hardly.
Coming to Dr. Stephen.
Not hardly, brother.
This is unnatural.
They ain't messing with me like
before your fallen state, men. You did not have that object that's between your legs today. I want you to follow me.
Uh-oh. Gotta go again.
Before
I told y'all about that state. There was a state that we were in. We were entities. We were not anything in this matter, in this physical form, right? We were light beings, energy, in its purest form. This is why I said we've been here for eons. So the eons and eons and eons that you have been here, your actual soul has been here. There was an existence prior to this 3D matrix that you're a part of. This is why it was so important for me to bring Sophia Stewart on, so she can explain what made her make that book. Why was it profound for them to take it and make it into what they wanted to derive it, or take it somewhat away from the actual information that it was about? Because when I saw the matrix, I understood it. And then when talking to Sophia, I'm like, oh my gosh, it was like, sis, this is the everything, like it's everything. Me and her have had some conversations that was so deep, it was crazy. I don't even want to get into, but she's on a level of mathematical thinking, and her equation and seeing things in a certain matter allows her to see that And that's awesome. I love math, which is crazy. I always loved math since I was a kid. You know, I can run numbers off quick in my head sometimes, usually, unless it's something very large. But, you know, I'm good with math, but I can't get into a lot of the other stuff. It frustrates me. Then my anxiety raises. I'm like, oh, shit, forget it. But I would love to know that, you know, the physicist, information like that. That's something I would love to do, but I just can't wrap my mind around it. I don't have the time and the patience to get the understanding of it. But the knowledge of of you, you know, being the person, being the energy that you are, being so powerful in what you are. This is why I started it in the beginning with that other video. If you didn't watch that, please go back to the beginning and watch it, guys. I'll possibly be putting this on members only tonight or tomorrow, but go back to the beginning and watch it, right? When it comes to that, right, that particular video talks to you and shows you what I be saying as far as the light and the transference of light, and you know how they try to keep you here, the soul trap. And that soul trapping is just the, you know, your mind being weak, being a slave. You know, you're chained now to this reality because you really think this is all it is. You don't understand your power. You don't understand the outside powers that are forces against you, and you don't know how to take your inner strength and be able to balance and harness the energy correctly. So because of that, you're being used and manipulated, right? So this is what's going on. So I don't want to keep talking, but let's go.
Adam's fall, he did not have a testicular fortitude. I'm trying to keep it clean because he was spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Before the woman's fall, Eve,
she didn't have
she wasn't named Eve until after the fall. Before her fall, she did not have a womb, which the world calls a clitoris. In Greek mythology, there is a term called snina, which is pinus. I won't say it like P, but pinus backwards. A woman or a body part of a woman in Greek or Roman antiquity. Clitoris was the name of gods or male men of high society in Roman and Greek antiquity. They were called the bloodline of one clitoris. Clitoris was not a female. Clitoris was a high-ranking political governor during the time of the apostles. You didn't know that. Clitoris was one who was a pedophile during the time of the Caesars. But for some women, for some reason, women had been given that part of their bodies, and the medical Greek world has attached the name of a male demon and the name of a male governor in Roman mythology and Roman history to the part of the women's legs of a woman's. It's called inversion. Now I'm going to give you some time to pick up your jaw from the floor. I got some tickets because you have never heard this before. The assassination of Pastor Stephen Darby, Project MK Naomi. So Cain, his father was the serpent. Listen, Abel's father was Adam. But the woman was Raytheon or raped by the serpent.
Pedo.
The serpent is the body organ of Lucifer. Oh, listen, keep it clean. The serpent.
Why y'all think they called it the sword? They called it the sword. I know y'all have heard people refer to a man's penis as a sword. Listen.
Is the body organ of Lucifer. Now, the term Mendenhall, thank you, Pastor Sam. When you look at Genesis, and if we can keep a marker there in Ephesians 6 and 12, and go back to the book of the Genesis, better known as the book of the genetics of God, Genesis chapter 4, verse 1.
And just if people don't understand,
Notice the term.
Really quick. I'm sorry, this is gonna be quick. When it comes to Genesis, right? When I tell you that the story is to put when they were writing themselves into our history, taking up our names, taking up our land, our soul of our women, so on and so forth. Genesis, this is a beginning of a rule, right? And everything he's explaining. Look at Genesis. Let me put it in the chat so it'll sound or it'll be more defined, right? Genesis, gene, which is gene of Isis. Let's go. Keep listening.
Terms and bear Cain.
I put it in the chat and it took
Though
it.
we're in the Rabbinical Hebrew Old Testament,
hold on,
but the Persian interpretation.
I want somebody to put it in the chat. Somebody put gene of Isis in the chat. Gene of OF ISIS, ISIS. Put it in the chat. I want to see what happened if y'all put it in there because it literally blocked my shit. I want to see if somebody can put it in the chat. I ain't moving till somebody put it in the chat for real. Put it in the chat. Somebody put gene of ISIS in the chat. GENE of ISIS. Wow, that's crazy, bro. If I could, can I take a picture? I can't take a picture and show you. Send it to my email because that shit is crazy. Are you fucking serious? I put it in all caps. Put it in all caps. Maybe it's because I put it in all caps. Put it in all caps, brother. Please, I'm sorry. Somebody put it in all caps. I want to see if that's why because I put it in all caps. And if they don't let you put it in there, just put no. It didn't let you put it in there. Yeah, gene of Isis, Genesis. Period. Somebody try to put it in caps because I really got to know if they blocked that. Somebody try to put it in all caps. Gene of Isis. That's all I put in there and see what happens. Crazy. It won't let you. Crazy. Okay. Interesting. Let's go.
For bear is the term Mendenhall, which now has a Greek connotation. Wait a minute now. And bear king or Mendenhall. What does Mendenhall mean?
What does Mendenhall mean?
To mount up someone from behind while they are in a fetal position on the ground. After the deed is complete, you roll her over and see the humiliation in her eyes.
You hear this, ladies?
That's why you mothers
get to it, Pastor,
who carry your child, your babies for 9 months. That child was shaped in the number 6.
Listen.
That we call a Mendenhall position. As a generational symbol of what happened to the mother of all. See, this is high dimensional teaching. So women, if you want to know why that many of every child since Genesis 3 is shaped like the number 6, the 6th day, that's a Mendenhall position where the woman was raped or Raytheon or butt broken from behind in front of her husband.
Implanted.
And that's why women have what we call morning sickness, because she was Raytheon or Mendenhall or butt broken during the morning. Oh Lord, let me take my time. Let me get a drink of water. Listen.
Get a drink, Pastor.
And
just so y'all know, pedo, if you look up pedo, look up the etymology of pedo. When you look at the etymology of pedo, it'll tell you have to go down past the origins. The origin, though, is important as well. It's Greek. Like, listen what the pastor was saying. It's of Greek origin, right? And when it's combined with certain things, it means a combination that is relating to soil, literally relating to soil, SOIL, and soil types. Soil and soil types. What did I just tell y'all? Implanting the seed, the black seed, into the woman's womb, which is the soil of the soil, right? And then implanting pathogens and genomes into the actual soil of the land, throwing off the pH bounds. Remember the document that we went over with that lady for that video about 2 weeks ago, and she read the NASA report from these Germans, right? Y'all remember that? Okay.
Not just the woman was Mendenhall. Adam was Mendenhall by the serpent who became female. Now, to the average theologian, they won't believe this because there are nothing but blue pill theologians. So the reason why men have that body part, because of Adam's connection to the serpent. The reason why women have that part, even the womb, which the world calls clitoris, is because of our fallen state, of the woman's fallen state. Before Adam's fallen state, he did not have a blood type. Not a type A, AB, ABO, or type RH positive or RH negative. Every single blood type did not come from God. Every single blood type came from the serpent. So that's not your original design. To have blood.
Why would you have blood if you have a light
type,
energy?
or
if
to
you
have
were
a
light
snake
energy,
or a clitoris, sisters? It wasn't God's perfect design for you men to have a sneenip or write it backwards because you were spirit. It wasn't God's original design for you, women of God, to have a clitoris. Because that's the name of a male political secret society going back to Rome. Oh, Lord. You see, you're not taught this. This is high-level apostolic scholarship. The assassination of Dr. Stephen Darby, Project MK Naomi. And so that's why men, had what they call puberty. Listen, now the question we have to ask ourselves, why do women have what they call periods?
Let's get to the blood of it all.
Why is it that women have periods? Or what they call premenstrual cycle.
Menstrual.
The acronym for premenstrual is the musical term, listen, minstrel. Lucifer, being the choir director of the angelic choirs of the 10 heavens.
What I told y'all.
He was also entitled as the minstrel.
That's right. He was the minister of
music.
But
when Lucifer was cast out of Satan, now remember this, students, remember,
listen,
though God created Lucifer, but God did not create Satan, neither did God create the devil. So a lot of you theologians, you need to reteach your congregations. Though God created Lucifer, God did not create Satan, neither did God create the devil. Well, how was it that Lucifer became Satan and the devil? The fall of Lucifer. Now, students, do me a favor, write down the term Lucifer. That's in Isaiah 14 and 12. The term Lucifer, to decipher, or hieroglyphics. Listen, black folk, take the term Lucifer and write it rabbinically from right to left. Now, the term Lucifer from right to left, it reveals a Latin Vulgate term, refico, which means the recycling of fecal matter. I want you to listen to, wait. So take the term Lucifer. Now, this class is not for everyone, okay? Because everyone is not on this level. So the term Lucifer,
he just blew my mind,
from which we get the term illuminato, illuminati, then backwards, rabbinically from right to left, reveals a Latin Vulgate expression signifying recycle, which means the recycling of fecal matter.
And I want you guys to understand something important. I said I wasn't going to stop because I want to get out of here in about 15 minutes. We got to, because I'm getting tired. I'm not tired per se, but I'm tired of being on this computer. This energy on here, man. I be giving a lot to this damn shit. But when you're thinking about the recycling of fetal matter, right? This is why when men are, what do you call it? Like rape, this way, like he was talking about with Adam, the same way, you know, the sword, taking it in, you know, the tail per se, right? When that happens, it's actually something that is a spiritual thing, right? So when they're doing that, it's a sorcery in the form of this actual recycling of fecal matter, because of the, I don't want to get too graphic, but you know what's going on basically, and it's in the anus where there is fecal. So the recycling of the fecal matter, this goes into matter. Recycling of fecal matter makes you think about the keeping you in the state of being of the matter, as I'm explaining to you, because that's not you. You know, you really don't even have that organ, you know, per se. You as the spirit entity that you are, the nine ether being that you are, you don't actually have that organ, but it's a part of the reality you're in that keeps you trapped in there. And this is the thing, by using the perversity and the pedo, as we just talked about a second ago, the pedophile invading soil, all these things. This is the perversity of what is natural, what is organic, obviously, right? So now you're going against the soil and the grain of the thing. Everything that you are thinking about with that gives you the sorcery and the witchcraft of this actual using or soliciting this particular demon with the act and using it against the person, using this act against the person and tying them into the actual ripple, which is the recycling of the fecal matter. And as a person engages in this continuously, they are stuck in that satanic ritualistic spirit or energy. They can go to church, they can clap, pray, direct the choir, do whatever. Unfortunately, you are consumed by a spirit or energy that has taken over your body. You know, you have to be mentally strong. Like a person can literally recover from this if they have the spirit and the energy and the will and the way and the truth and the light to go that way. They can actually remove themselves from those feelings, all of that. It's a very you know, not so easy thing to do, but they can definitely do it, you know, mentally. I can even help a person through something like that. You know, if a person is battling that, seriously, anything I do is in total confidence. You know, I don't break my confidence with anybody, anyone that I do consults with. They can vouch that I've never disclosed any information, not even using their stuff as like a joke or in reference to. I don't do stuff like that. You know, so if you are battling something like that, you have that type of energy, that type of spirit, you know, reach out to me, you know, for a consult, and we can definitely get you some help when it comes to assisting with breaking the cycle of these types of things, you know, and having that energy around you and the circumference of your area that makes a big difference, right? Okay, I'm talking into y'all video time. Let's go.
Okay. That's what Lucifer became. Lucifer became the recycling of fecal matter. That's why homosexuality is an abomination. That's why lesbianism is an abomination. I'm going to say something that's radical. Before your fall and my fall, before Adam's fall, Adam did not have the ability to go to the restroom. I'm trying to keep it clean, Pastor Massey. Why? Because Adam had not yet fallen into a state of spiritual purgatory where he had now to purge his waste. Wait a minute now. Why do we have waste? Can I teach? You've got waste, including me. It's because of our fallen state. Okay?
Told y'all, we all have
It's
it.
because of our fallen state that people have what we call waste. So, to Genesis 4:1, she bared or Mendenhall Cain. Well, the term bear means to rape from behind. It means Mendenhall. Please look it up within the Urban Dictionary. That's why she was shaped in the number 6. That's what we call a prenatal position. That's why children are shaped like the number 6 for 9 months. And when the head and the body of children turn upside down, then it becomes the number 9. The Lord's Prayer in Matthew 6, and another topic for another day. Now, that's why we have women having triplets, but the triplets don't come from the same father. Now, go back to Ephesians 6:12. Now, if I'm going too fast, slow me down, because once the bishop gets started, listen, I'm John Wick. I don't stop. Is your minds blown tonight? Go back to Ephesians 6:12. Is your minds blown? So the reason why, as you go back to Ephesians 6:12, the reason why men have that body part, because of our fallen state. The reason why women have that body part and have what they call, what the medical world calls, periods. Now, getting back to the period, as you go to Ephesians 6:12, why do women have premenstrual cycles? As you go back to Ephesians 6:12, because the menstrual, the serpent, had raped and injected death into the woman. So the reason why every woman on this earth grows up with premenstrual cycles, because the menstrual, Lucifer, and through which the body part of Lucifer, the serpent, had done to the woman from behind. That's why anal sex is an abomination. I said it. That's why anal sex is an abomination. That's why oral sex is an abomination, according to Matthew 5:32.
Abomination.
Oh, but we're married,
Abomination.
Bishop.
Let's talk about it. Shit. Let's talk about it. If a man is asking you to bend over for him in this way, my first question, I only dealt with men, like real men in my life, like period. I ain't gonna even lie. I might not be with them right now today, because sometimes you outgrow people and there's nothing wrong with that. It's good to know when you outgrow them and leave them before y'all have bad feelings. I talk to every one of them. I could talk to my ex from 30 years ago, like literally, real talk. And it all depends on, what's going on with your relations with these people, right? So when it comes to that, oh damn, I literally lost my whole fucking thought, y'all. I swear I did. I wanted to comment. I literally wanted to comment on what he said. My back was bothering me. I was at my daughter's dealing with my grandbabies. I had me a little smoke. You know, I don't know who judged what for what, but hey, y'all know I'm holistic. I don't deal with anything, any pills or anything. So, you know, I have smoke. I use herbal teas too. Yeah, yes, teas. But yeah, that was about it. But I literally lost my thought. Oh my gosh, it was something so important I wanted to say. Let me take this back, y'all, because I really wanted to say that to y'all. That's why I stopped, because I didn't intend to stop before. Let me see, it'll come back.
The serpent had done to the woman from behind.
Oh,
that's why anal sex is the
what I was talking about. Okay, listen, when it comes to that, if a man is asking you to bend over, my first thought is he must have been with a man before. Until I was like in my mid 20s, I never heard of a woman talking about a man, with anal sex. Like literally, that shit was like foreign to me. I don't know if I was in different circles or what was going on, but none of my friends ever talked about that type of shit. So when I was like 20, 25, 28-ish, I don't remember exactly, but around between 25 and 30. I heard people, different women when I moved. Actually, when I was in Chicago, but when I moved to New York, you know, I don't know if it was the age or what, but when I moved to New York, you know, in my like 25 to 30, you know, I heard a lot of women talking about like anal, and I'm thinking like, ugh, that's like disgusting. I barely want to take a number two. And you talking about pulling something, especially something like what? Seriously? Are you freaking serious? I don't know how men even, you know, tolerate that. I don't care about your sexual preference or nothing, but I'm just saying that just sounds crazy. So that right there is a perversity to some people. So when you think about these things and what he's saying, you know, as far as that, oh, it's a sin and all that, that don't got nothing to do with it. But the perversity of it, and when you're thinking about the feces in the matter of this energy, right? That's like sick. Even with the oral, I ain't gonna even lie. I had an ex that, listen, this nigga was like addicted. I ain't gonna even lie. It's like this nigga was coming to the house on his break time sometime, really checking up on what I was doing because he was crazy. But he he used to always be like, oh, I want to taste you this, you know, excuse me, y'all, this perverted, whatever. I'm just being so honest with y'all. And when I say this is the craziest man I ever dealt with in my life, and I used to tell him it's because he liked doing it. I'm like, that's because you like doing that. He was like, well, I can't help it, babe. Da 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 da. How you can't help it? How you like want to be doing that? That's like, it's just something I never understood. You know, that's your preference. You know, help yourself, shit, buffet style. But like, I really didn't understand that. Why would you be? Why? I didn't understand that. So when you're thinking about these things, and these perversities in people, there's something to it. And at the time, you know, I was like in my early 30s, so I was woke, but you know, I didn't know as much as I understand now about certain things. So I didn't tie it to. I just knew that it was wrong, and like, it's nothing so great about this. I don't know why you like that, or you know, whatever. But my thing is, damn. Now that I think about it, it was a perversity, you know, and that's why his mind was like that. That's why he was like always, what you doing, you know, where you at, you know, like drove me like nuts, for real, like literally drove me nuts, drove me to tears sometimes. That's how crazy this nigga was. We both would be like crying. He be crying shit, I be crying shit. He don't know why he crazy. Literally, this is some serious stuff, y'all. And I'm not just saying this. I don't just say shit. Like I really would just like to call him out the blue so he can confirm the shit, because we've had conversations about it, like for real, because this is something so serious. It was something in the perversity of that, and this is why his mind was like going like nuts. He couldn't even contain himself, you know. It's something very powerful with a woman and her juices. That's literally the waters of life. This person was literally sucking life out of me. I didn't even realize that at the time. I knew it was something that wasn't right about it. I don't even know, but he was like literally sucking the life out of me. Real life. Real water. The waters of life. The woman that has the waters of life. She bears a child in it. The waters of life. The in her womb, literally those waters. So men will become addicted to that because it's something so powerful in that. Seriously, this is y'all laughing in the chat. I mean, it might sound funny because y'all like, damn, sis tripping, but I am so serious. This is something so important. I have to be real with y'all. That's something that is addictive. A person becomes addictive to that. sick. Y'all, man, if your person can't take care of you like normal, y'all can't do that normal, like y'all good like that, something wrong. Like I can't hug on you, kiss you, rub your back down, rub your feet. Shit, by the time I do all that shit, you should be halfway there. Like for real. What? Come on, man. Y'all, yes, sis. It's just, I don't know. Sis said, was he, no, sis, he was actually younger, like, which is crazier. He was younger than me. I was like 32. He was probably like 26 when I met him. So yeah, he was probably like 26. I was 32, which is crazy. I had a couple of younger relationships when I was younger. You know, I used to be busy. I used to work a lot. And be honest, when I got out my long-term relationship with my ex, it was just like, I ain't really want to be serious with nobody. But yeah, this nigga was crazy, like straight crazy, a lunatic. I used to be like, boy, go out with your brother, go chill. He want to be up under me all day long. I'm like, go take your brother out. His brother was younger than him and shit. He ain't really had no whip or nothing, you know. I'm like, go pick your brother up, go chill or whatever. You know, he always kept a whip, always responsible. You know, I used to be like, you know, go do something with your brother. Couldn't get rid of this boy. Like really crazy. And that was a spiritual tie, a soul tie, a entity. And it wasn't a good one, because there are good soul ties. I've had that too. But there's definitely ones that are like off the chain. You don't want no fucking parts of.
Abomination. I said it. That's why anal sex is an abomination. That's why oral sex is an abomination, according to Matthew 5:32. Oh, but we're married, Bishop. It doesn't matter. It's an abomination. Every time you women, you wives, allow your husbands to do that,
yeah,
you women have opened the door
of,
listen, a Raytheon spirit.
Jeez. Listen, Lord.
Through which the demon is operating through your husband to rape you from behind, and the wife is being butt broken, Raytheon, and listen, Mendenhall. Anal sex is an abomination. Oral sex, don't get quiet, is an abomination. So that's why women have premenstrual cycles.
Y'all think it's
because the minstrel, the former choir director of the 10 heavens, Lucifer, fell in the body organ of Lucifer, okay, then injected into the woman the poison of the serpent. That's why women have 6,000 years later a premenstrual cycle, because the minstrel of the music of the 10 heavens, Lucifer, did that to the woman. Now listen here, give me 5 minutes before we get into the body of the text. Now, if you want me to shut it down because you can't take this, let me know, and you'll have to wait till Thursday. Do you want me to keep teaching? Say keep teaching, Bishop. Listen, let me get a drink of water. Listen,
back later. I can't. I'm just go out.
There are some of you that may not understand this. That's okay. And may not understand this. This class is not for you. Before we get into Ephesians 6 and 12, the assassination of Pastor Stephen Darby, Project Naomi.
She wasn't off at all, baby. Your mama.
So if you connect, remember,
that's right,
Cain to the word Abel, you get the term cannibal. Cannibalism, spirit cooking.
Spirit cooking.
As a quick side note, going back to Genesis 4, as you stay in Ephesians 6 and 12, when Cain, why am I talking about this, Lord? Yes, Lord. When Cain left the presence of the Lord in Genesis 4, he went to the land.
Sorry, guys.
Nod, where you get the term to nod off. The land of Nod on the east of Eden. Well, who were those people in the land of Nod? they were the descendants of the pre-Adamite age. And I'm going to say something before we get into Ephesians 6 and 12. Adam was not the first man. Oh, Lord. Listen. Adam. What is the first letter of Adam? A. The last letter of Adam, M. So God designed Adam as the AM of the morning and his wife Eve as the PM of the evening. So it's Adam and Eve and not Adam and Deacon Stevie. It's Eve and Adam and not Eve and Ellen DeGenerate. Another topic for another day.
Yes.
Wait a minute now. So the land of Nod were the descendants of the pre-Adamite age. Adam was not the first man. God told him to multiply and replenish the earth, to replace something that was there before the pre-Adamite age. Well, in Genesis 2 and 6, is the original man. Not in Genesis 2 and 7. Genesis 1 and 26 and 27 is the original man. Now, if we go back further to Genesis 1 and 3, when God said, "Let there be light." Now, put a marker there in Ephesians 6 and 12. We'll get into Dr. Darby here in a minute. Let there be light. He's not talking about the sun, because the term sun did not come from God. The term sun came out of Greek mythology.
Oh, really?
But it's in the word. Well, who put it in the word? The 325 AD conference in Nicene, Turkey, the Vatican order, through Constantine and his homosexual lover, Pope Sylvester, took out parts of the word concerning light and put in sun. I know this is hard for you to understand. So the term, what you call sun, was designed by God to be called the greater light. God did not say he created the greater light sun by day and the lesser light moon by night. He said the greater light.
The greater
is
light.
The kingdom of the apostolic.
Is that
the
you?
Kingdom of Christ.
Is that who we talking about? You, the greater light?
The lesser light is the kingdom of heaven. Or Christendom. Wait a minute now. So what you've been taught was the sun is actually called the greater light.
Oh,
these global master classes are only designed for those who can absorb the greater light.
Say it.
You've been taught that the seas are called oceans.
I thought he was going to lose me for a minute.
There's nowhere in scripture, ladies and gentlemen,
you see any damn
that
ocean.
God created oceans.
Even in the part they rewritten.
God created the seas. Well, why not ocean, Bishop? Because the term ocean is the name of a Greek goddess out of Greek mythology. Oceanos. The god of a tree.
You mean they took the seas and stressed it and separated the lands and they created oceans, which is what? A demonic god, which is what? Memory. The oceans hold what? Memory. If it's water, right? Water is memory and it is energy and it is light as well. So that's the transformation, which is more mutation on the earth and its atmosphere. Let's go.
Transgendered water. You see, you've been taught wrong. So you don't call the seas ocean. Neither do you call the greater light the sun.
They've been creating
and every planet, they were called.
And when they create them, just to remind you guys, as a reminder, just to remind you, right? When they created them, they venture off, they create dams and rivers. And now they also use that extra current, which is energy and light, right? Because it's all organic energy. It is the true light, right? The true information, because it's the waters, right? So now those waters that are holding information, they take it and they transfer it into what? They transfer it into a utility. Utility. They transfer it. I'm gonna get into that real quick. I don't want to keep breaking shit down, but they transfer it into a utility, right? Because a utility is what? Current, which is what? Energy, which is what? Light. Current, light, and energy. That is the utility. So now they create a utility company off the dam that they created from that energy, from the energy source in that particular area, because you know the energy is going to be high there, right? Why is the energy going to be high there? So much higher than other areas where they create the dams at for the particular utility companies, right? Because the energy is higher. Because why? Each and every one of those places, there was a gold mine, there was a silver mine. So there's energy that is on these particular ley lines. This is how they're able to determine where the energy is. Oh, how do they determine the energy on the land? Because of the type of minerals in the land. When they decipher the type of minerals in the land, then they can say, oh, there's this type of energy, that type of energy, because they can estimate it based off of their scientific studies that they've been doing so long with alchemy and science and all the fake shit that's not with nature. And this way they can assume the information and falsify it. Let's go.
Stars, not planets, and those stars were not called Mars and Mercury and Venus. Those are names of Roman and Greek gods
or demons. All the so-called.
Can I say something as a side note? Say there in Ephesians 6 and 12. Goliath in 1 Samuel 17:43, he said to David, am I a dog? Now, when you connect the letters in the words, am I a dog? There you go, Pastor Lambert. The word of the Lord prior to the 325 AD conference in Nicene, Turkey, the word of the Lord did not have words that were separated. Prior to the 325 AD conference in Nicene, Turkey, the word of God had one complete sentence. It was a divine code. So the term, am I a dog, as pronounced by Goliath in 1 Samuel 17:43. When you connect, let me get my apostolic gangster lean on. When you connect the terms, am I a dog, it also becomes a Persian term, am a dog, which means bisexual. Wait. Oh, can I teach? Listen. So the term am a dog in Persian, it means bisexual, hybrid, or that which is a transgendered entity. I am going to say something that is radical that you have never heard before. The mind of Christ had taught your bishop that Goliath, who was 13 feet high,
he was an Indian.
Who had an armor bearer.
He was an Indian.
And if you're supposed to be a champion, why do you need an armor bearer?
He was an Indian.
He was 13 feet high, but remember, Dr. Frank Olson worked for the CIA but committed suicide in 1953, jumped out of the 13th floor at a Manhattan hotel. I'll get back to that. So Goliath, am I a dog? What he was saying Am I bisexual? Am I a hybrid transgender entity? So certain giants were transgendered. Wait.
He right about that.
Oh, this is mind blowing. Only a
You're right about that, but wait a minute. They're transgendered, right? The transgenderism is the Baphomet, right? So the giants that he's talking about were transgendered from the Baphomet because of what? They were the false light radium beings, the ones that fell, right? So they were the light, the ones that were cut in half. So we thinking about cutting in half, that's a man, right? Being they always talk about the Y chromosome. Oh, I always tell people that leg kicked off to the damn side. It's been inverted. Didn't he just tell y'all that it was an inversion? It's an inversion, not calling you guys perverts or perversity in making, but I'm just being real with you. It's a perversion. The X chromosome, they say, right? The Y chromosome. Now you get a leg that's kicked off with a Y. You have it kicked off with an X. You have the Y is a chromosome. Now it's a male. Now it's a mutated gene. Why would it be mutated? Why would it go from being an X chromosome? Because every male starts as an X chromosome, whether you know it or not, and it turns into a Y chromosome in the first trimester, right? So when it decides to turn to the male, right? I wonder if that's a form of perversity, something that the mother is putting herself in through, or something she went through, a perversity in her mind when the creation of this particular entity being came into her womb to be planted as a seed of light, right? A seed of light, a seed of false entity, the same way that Eve was implanted, right? You guys see this shit, right? It ain't that hard. Let's go.
apostles teach this. I'm going to say something that has never been taught for any theologian before. And if they told you they revealed this, they're lying. Goliath, in that term, 3 words, Emma-dog, connected, Emma-dog, is a Persian term. Goliath was telling David his weakness. I am bisexual. I am a hybrid. I am transgendered. Can the apostle teach? See, no one. It takes the Holy Spirit to reveal this. Oh, he's trying to. I'm not trying to. Listen. Connect the words Emma dog or am I a dog? You get the Persian term Emma dog, which means bisexual, hybrid, a transgendered entity.
He giving facts though, sis. I've been
so Goliath
find it.
had a condition called ambiguous genitalia. Oh my! Wait a minute now. God revealed to David that what David was up against was not a man, but a bisexual, transgender giant. Why did this giant have an armor bearer? And what relationship? Come on, somebody, listen. Amadog means in Persian bisexual, transgender.
Oh, you got to go back, Kevin. It ain't that different, baby.
I gotta say this because the Holy Spirit wants me to say this. You knew it
might be different, but
see, a lot of you, ladies and gentlemen, to the
beginning, babe.
Were taught that in John 5, before we get to John 5, keep a marker there in Ephesians 6 and 12, in Revelation 2:24. And see, a lot of you were taught that in John 5, that God sent an angel once a season to trouble the water. Well, that's not true. True angels, John 5, they don't have the ability to heal. Oh, listen.
Oh, well,
True angels
I can
do
heal with
not
no
have
hands.
the ability to heal. Only Christ does.
That's the energy. Christ is
So
what?
in
And just to
John
clarify that, what is Christ? The energy.
chapter
Your power.
5, verse 1, 5 porches. It gave some apostles, prophets, evangelists, pastors, and teachers. But in John also 5 and 3, this angel came to what? Trouble. So the term trouble means to infect the water. Wait a minute now. When you look at verse 4 of John 5 and 4,
yes.
for an angel, stop right there.
Mm-hmm.
Take the word "and," connect it to the term angel, you get the name Anagel. Anagel, according to Enoch 6, also volume 2, chapter 3, volume 3, chapter 5, and volume 4, chapter 4. Anagel was a fallen angel. Wait a minute now. Here comes the gene pool parsimony. So, pastors, prophets, and bishops and theologians, when you teach your congregations, your pastors, your conferences, your divinity schools or cemeteries or seminaries, don't say God sent the angel. True angels don't trouble waters. And true angels don't come to heal because they don't have the ability. The term troubled in verse 5 of John 5 and 4 also is interpreted in the Cyprian text as the term hydrogel. Listen, I'm not going to get into that. I don't want us to be taken down or given a strike. Hydrogel, the water that became a gene pool. So that was a demon sent by hell to that region. It wasn't an angel from God. It was a fallen angel that came, but the people were healed. There are counterfeit healings from the serpent. Anything that Christ has in truth, Satan has a counterfeit.
And it's all in a form of what? Alchemy. We about to get ready to get out of here, guys. I'm gonna play show you guys a few things and play a song out here, old fave. I know they're gonna try with the copyright strike. Blah, they blah. Who cares? I'm still gonna play it. But yeah, let's go. Get this going. And I want you guys to have a great day. I will be showing the rest of this. I tried to get through almost half since I was already, going further. I tried to get through like half of it. So what I'm going to do is do the rest of it in our private group. Okay. So I want you guys to make sure. Oh, wait, that's the wrong one. Okay, there it goes. Make sure you guys are tuning in tomorrow. I'm going to have some more information for you guys. I'll show you a couple of photos and play the song as we get out of here. Peace, love, and bliss to everyone. And yeah, that's about it. love is true. A secret from me to you. We used to say, if this fight gets that train, be out like what? Ease your mind, none but love and life. What? You think we do enough? Yeah. Hey, the day we met, wanna go to the thing that no stress, the sweet caress from me to you. Wanna do things we used to do, say the things we used to say, just say every day, all day. Hey. Look at the ears. Yeah, 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 yeah. Hey, uh, hey.